Hey, we got numbers.
Hey, welcome to the ClevelandMoto podcast, episode number 470. Light 'em up, boys. What a nice tight grouping we have tonight. I mean, that was a good entry. You guys all did your jobs very well. We got some new audio going on, thanks to Sleepy.
Well, we're trying.
Some new audio engineering, so that's nice. To my immediate left is
Dan Krapke.
To his left,
Steve Sleepy.
and to his left,
Chris Smith.
and behind the bar,
Tom Pennington.
hey, here we are.
Chris, we're not getting much on yours.
What's that?
Did you put Chris's levels down?
No.
No, his mic just went dead.
Oh.
His mic
Are
totally
you
went dead.
kidding me?
Well, I mean, it's more likely to be just something just became unplugged
Yeah.
the way he dropped out, because I don't even see any levels for him on the board, do you?
No, and nothing's changed.
Check.
There he is.
There
He's
it
right
is.
back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back.
He's back,
blew him
baby.
up. Yeah. No, the fucking chords, man. I'm telling you. It's just no matter how hard you work on the levels, one wonky chord, yeah. That's
Amazon Basics can suck it.
it. They can suck it. Yeah, absolutely. You got to spend the money on the big chords. Big chords, big money.
So getting back, yeah, Chris Smith.
Christmas back. Hey,
Christmas
back. Yeah. I wanted to give
And behind the bar?
behind the bar.
Tom Pennington.
Tom Pennington.
Yeah, we did that.
Absolutely. Yep. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. A couple of things I want to give people for highlights. I did get to ride the Triumph Scrambler 400. And I have to say, at its price point, at like a $5,000 motorcycle level, it's really good. Its suspension may need some refinement because I think they may have put the suspension from a 900 on a 400.
Oh.
I'm going to have to bring more tonnage.
Yeah,
In order
Poco's
for me to compress it into the favorable range, right now it's in the rattling fillings range. And I asked him, I said, this is a bike that has, a couple 400 miles on it. It's been test ridden by several people. Is this the best you can do? Right? If you're trying to get people to buy this bike, is this the best you can do? And, or can I knock the suspension down? Like, can I take all the stiffness, all the preload out of this fucking suspension? And he goes, yeah, it's pretty well the way it is right now. And I said, okay. But they have sold, I think he said 27 of them in 50 days.
Wow.
Which is shocking,
Yeah,
right?
very good.
Yeah, it's very, very high selling bike. So yeah, that happened. We also had a Honda Navi come into the shop, and the customer insisted on some non-factory standard size tires.
Yep. That seems to be, like, we've done two now.
Yes, we've done two. Yeah.
And both of them have had the same oversized Kendas.
Oh, I thought the first one might have been.
Was it Kenda?
Wasn't one of them a City Grip? Like a mixed match?
No.
I think the one was like a City
it a
Grip on the
City
back
Grip?
and a Kenda on the front or something.
Something weird, but
Yeah, it was
it's
weird.
it's become this thing. So there must be like a Navi subgroup somewhere out there
yeah.
that is recommending these tire sizes.
Yeah, there's one Navi whisperer
Yeah,
out there.
it's like,
who's
no. You want to
telling
go?
people
You want to
do
go
it.
up to one? I think the front was like a 120 or something, and it was
Yeah.
really like almost double the size of that skinny thing it comes with.
Yes, and what I can tell you is it did not help the giddy up of it.
No.
It didn't make it better.
No.
And this one also had a Vance and High Smart Cannon on it,
Yeah.
which is $300 added to a $599 motorcycle if you're in India. But if you're here, you may have paid $3,600 for it.
Yep.
But adding a $500 exhaust to that bike did not make it $500 faster. I'm still convinced that a 49cc two-stroke will beat.
Well, that's the next
Yeah.
one that comes in. We're gonna
do
do the shootout.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the shootout.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get the buddy out of the garage.
Yeah.
And I gotta make sure I get it. I don't even know if I want to de-restrict it.
Not a bad idea.
That's the funny part. You
Not
want
a
to do
bad idea.
stock or de-restrict it.
What kills me is the $300 Vance and Hines,
Yeah.
and there's a $500 Yoshi. This is truly the example of putting $5,000 worth of rims on your $500 car.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
I mean, they look. Are you fiddling with the thing?
He's fiddling.
Okay, he's
I think the
Sleepy, you
goals.
fiddling?
The except it didn't get worse.
Well, no, I
right?
just suddenly peaked a little bit in my headphones. I was like, what the heck? But getting back.
We enjoy it when you peak there, Tommy.
Yeah.
Peak, peak.
I peaked years ago. That's what everybody tells me.
I don't think that. I don't think they have now made the Navi into anything I'm worried about.
No, but it's got an appeal. I'm not going to lie. I rode the little one, and it kind of was cool, but it's There's something there, and there's something missing. I don't know what it is.
I rode this one.
Yeah.
With the Vance and Hines pipe
the
on
Vance
it
and Hines,
and
yeah.
the brand new tires.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that at no point was I ever at risk of losing traction,
Yeah.
getting pulled over,
Yeah.
or intimidating anyone, because now all it does is makes noise to make people look at you, and then they look at you and go, well, when's he going to turn it on? Like, when's he going to hit it? And you're like, no, I've been hitting it.
Yeah.
I've been hitting it hard. The
think-
front brake can best be described as trash. That bike does not like to stop.
What size motor's on there?
A 110.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but to me it seems like with those small displacement motors, if you just throw a pipe on them and stuff, and even a carb a little bit, it doesn't do shit. It just makes them louder, and actually they lose power.
Yes, they do.
Now, if you're polishing them, changing cranks and all that, like these race the Daytonas and stuff where you get them and all that stuff's done, then yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
But I can't see the Navi having any of that done to it. So like, remember with like the SSR, or not the SSR, the TNTs.
Right.
They're better stock. Like
Oh,
they
yeah,
run
absolutely.
better. They have more
Yep.
torque because the back pressure is correct.
Yeah,
So I
correct.
cannot imagine that Navi benefits at all from having anything like that on it.
And I promise you that I have seen invoices and held them in my hand for prices between $3,200 and $4,200. That is actual human beings that actually paid money to actually buy these bikes.
Wow.
And that is way too much money. And yes, there's a dealer in Nebraska that says the Honda Navi has just arrived and it's available for $2,307 as our total best cash out the door price. And it includes a $200 destination charge and a $100 freight charge, whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'm calling the dealer. So you're telling me that if I show up at your dealership with $2,307, that you're going to let me leave there with the Navi?
And
he
the
says,
title.
And he
And
said,
the title.
he said, we will put you on the list. When the bike comes in, we will call you and let you know. And then you can come in. I said, and I can come in and give you $2,307 and leave with $2,307. He goes, no, you're going to come in and we'll sell you a bike. And I said, so you're just completely lying on the internet when you advertise that you're going to sell it for $2,307. And that's on their website. That's on Cycle Trader. That's everywhere this place advertises. There's a dealer in Texas doing the exact same thing. It is, I promise you, Ride Now SoCal is saying that like they're selling that bike out the door. They're promising to sell you that bike for $2,675. And I said, okay, that's with title. That's with tax. That's prepped and under my ass. Well, you're going to have to pay tax, of course. Yeah, I know. I understand. I get that. But you're advertising that that's on the road out the door, and that's really not on the road out the door. And you're also telling me, oh, that doesn't include your title processing fee. And I'm like, you guys are just fucking. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar selling them for $3,600 during COVID or whenever people were willing to pay more for it. And now that people are starting to feel a little bit put upon for a $600 or $700 bike for $3,000, well, now they're retreating just a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm still going to go on record as saying it's a shit bike, and I've ridden a hell of a lot of Chinese bikes that are way better than this thing for less money, and this ain't in the hunt. I get it. I hope you enjoy being a member of the Honda Navi Club, and you wear your Honda Navi hat that you got on, Alibaba or Temu.
I only rode yours at Mid-Ohio
Yeah.
for about 20 feet,
Yeah.
but that was enough to feel it.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but like my $899 the Grim
Yeah.
that I sold, that was
Right.
a better bike.
It is.
Like 100%.
It is. And it is, and that's fine. And it shouldn't surprise anybody for a carbureted bike with a
Right.
mechanical choke and drum brakes. It shouldn't shock anybody that this is a bad bike.
Now, are there companies selling like disc conversions and
Right.
all that
Yeah,
shit
right.
for them?
Yeah.
You know there is.
Well,
Dudes are going to have 10 grand into their Navi.
yeah. Anyway, but that's it. I just wanted to say because, we every time a Navi comes into the shop and we try to give it a fair shot, give it a fair shake and, take it around and ride it around and do all the fun stuff for it, it's not anything. It's nothing great. Tom and I are used to being in a world where there's a 150cc bike And we can put a $140 exhaust on that 150cc two-stroke bike and take it from 9 horsepower to 16 to 15 with an exhaust and a jet change and get instant results that are just totally seat of the pants dyno approved.
I mean,
Yeah.
the funnest bike I currently own, even it's the only one I really ride, is my Buddy.
Yeah.
And it's got it's got the Prima pipe because it came with it.
Yep.
And I did the 10-cent mod. Anybody that has a KLR knows the 10-cent mod.
Right. Yep.
And it's fine. It does.
Explain the 10-cent mod.
So basically, it's the equivalent of raising the needle up one notch, but because it doesn't have a notch, you have to put the 10-cent washer underneath it.
You
It pulls
literally
the
put a
needle up.
washer underneath it.
And that thing all day is fun as heck.
And any carburetor tuner guy that I've ever dealt with on any bike I've ever owned has a T-shirt that says "Raise the needle, dummy." You know, any stock bike that you ever owned or ever bought in your life, and you're at all thinking, it just kind of bogs in the middle. It just doesn't work exactly like I want. Raise the needle, dummy.
Yep.
The SSRs we got, the second I got the SSR, I rode it one time. It was bogging down on the straight. I raised the needle, dummy.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I was like, oh, look at that.
Well,
The mid-range is back.
every bike, in order to meet EPA emissions standards, has to run lean from the factory.
Yes.
Has to.
Well, and it's one of the few things that's like the easiest thing to do.
Oh,
you're not taking
kidding.
apart your bike. You're just unscrewing a thing. Like,
You're
done.
absolutely not kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is all carbureted. Anybody with a fuel injection bike, well, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Well, it's just there's just a different world of different things, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, they start in the spring though, and work.
it might be true.
Yeah.
There might be a hell of a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Anybody buy a bike this week? I'm asking.
I'm asking parts. I've been buying parts and parts.
Actually, the funny part is I bought parts for my Honda Element, so I really can't say much.
Well, that's not a bike.
Nope, I got a crank sensor in yesterday for the Harley.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Nice. What did that end up costing you?
Like $52
For the actual Harley Davidson part?
It's the It's
God
the,
bless.
like there. So it's
Right.
$52 for that.
Right.
Then I got a set of bearings. And it's really interesting because I thought they were bushings, but they're not. They're these really tiny little sweet ass like angled bearings for the front of the Springer. So I'm starting to collect the parts. After you gave me that,
Right.
After you gave me the link to that,
the
thing,
link to the actual Harley Davidson parts book.
which I couldn't find. Like you had to know where that was, right?
Yeah,
'Cause I couldn't
that's where
find it.
I have been using the actual Harley Davidson parts book to order all my Harley Davidson parts.
Okay.
For about 25
Because
years.
that changed my life.
Yeah.
Because all the questions I had that could not be answered by any website that I went to, you sent to. They were like, here, text, and everything I needed was right there.
it's pretty funny that you were griping about it.
Yeah, I was so.
gripe.
But
it took me exactly 7 seconds.
listen, I'm not a schmuck on the
I
internet.
know.
Like, I know how to Google shit. I
Yeah.
could not find that stuff, man. Like, that is like guarded or something. I think you have to be part of the dealership
Well-
network or something.
Well,
man.
Sleepy, you got to remember what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with people that aren't typically very, how's the best way to say it?
Careful,
savvy.
careful.
Internet savvy. Let's go with that one.
Okay, yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're used to walking in and bullshit, going in for the coffee and donuts and bullshitting with the parts guy behind the counter
True.
and getting the parts, or getting their bike in, put it. Yeah, let me put you in line to go ahead and get all this stuff.
I call the Harley Davidson dealer that is 10 minutes from my shop. I give him the part number and only the part number.
Yeah.
Tell him exactly, I need this part, this part, this part, this part, this part. I will almost guarantee that once in a while he doesn't have it. Once in a while I have to come back 2 days later
Right.
to get the part. And if it's not a seat or a chrome part, if it's a mechanical piece, it's remarkably affordable. But if it's a seat or a pipe or a wheel, well, fuck you. It's going to be super expensive.
Well, the bearings, some of these little bearings, like I think the two, so it's like 5 little pieces of hardware per side.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was $72.
I was going to say it adds up to about $72. Yeah, $72. Yeah.
So that's that. So then
Right.
I'm thinking what I'm going to try to do first. Is,
But a whole new Springer front end though is $1,800.
yeah.
So to make it the way it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
$72. I'm in.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna.
And I'll even
slowly-
pay. I'll even pay for it.
Oh, whatever, dude. I don't
It's my
care.
bike. I'll pay for it.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I'll give you money for labor.
That's all right. but so this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the lower rockers and get those tightened up.
Yeah.
And then see if that tightens the rest of it up. And
Yeah.
At that point, because then I did find a rebuild kit.
You are
for the
supposed to-
spring area.
Correct.
So like
Right.
they have the little cups and all that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. But I didn't see anything moving around or rattling up there. So I think it might just be the rockers.
I can promise you that based on the age of the vehicle,
You probably need.
that the bottom stuff absolutely has to be replaced
Oh, yeah.
because it is meant to be replaced every so often.
Right.
And that you work from the bottom up.
Yeah. That's
you know?
what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart way to do it. I really do. Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad
so-
that worked out.
Yeah, so we'll see how the motor I'm hoping that the crank position sensor takes care of that little like dropout in the one cylinder, which I think it's going to.
Yes.
Everything that I read and everybody that's told me it's going to do it.
That's not just anecdotal. That's Harley Davidson's training manual. Like
Right,
it
right.
says, when a bike comes in presenting the symptom, that's part of the flow chart.
Right.
And that is step one.
Right.
Step one, moment one, replace that.
Yep.
So, anybody else buy anything?
No.
Is it just me?
Wow.
Just you.
It's just me.
Dan, you didn't buy Lambretta parts? You can't tell me you didn't buy a Lambretta part.
I didn't buy any parts for it yet.
Wow.
That is.
I haven't
kinda
actually worked on it in
surprising.
about 5 days. I had friends visiting from out of town, so we were
okay.
doing all the Cleveland things.
You're doing all the Cleveland touring
Right.
things?
Right.
Yeah. This is our one big building.
Yeah.
The
No. What,
Here,
isn't the
look at
fir-
this cemetery.
Isn't the first?
It's a great cemetery.
I mean, I stayed at the hotel, but isn't the world's first indoor mall
yeah,
here?
our arcades
The
are
arcade.
amazing.
Yeah,
The
it's-
architecture
yeah.
is fantastic. There's plenty. We always tease though. We just think it's more fun to make. It's more fun to shit on ourselves.
Everybody always shits on
right.
Ohio.
It's just more
I
fun.
mean,
to do that.
I
Do you
literally.
know that the kids, that's an insult now?
Oh, it is.
What?
It is.
It's like, that's so Ohio.
yeah.
Oh really?
That's what the kids are saying now.
No tap, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the age-old cult of Lufcadio, the cult of Lufcadio used to say, you know, it's better to live here in sackcloth and ashes than to live in Ohio.
Oh,
And then,
all right.
of course, that is everybody in New Orleans that's drunk as shit and, you know,
Yeah, I was
living
gonna
with a foot
say,
of water in the street and trash everywhere. And
Having a small amount of insight into that particular situation,
Yeah.
I'll trade you.
Like I
I'll
said-
trade you 50 years in Ohio for a month in fucking New Orleans.
I spent 20 years there one day.
Yep, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it to be the thing that's making me all super happy.
Well, there ain't no surf in Cleveland, USA.
No, there ain't no.
Actually, no,
surfing,
there
please.
apparently is surfing on Lake Erie. I saw the other day.
Yep, it's a
Like,
thing.
that's a thing.
That's a thing.
In New Orleans, you do it in the middle of the street.
I'm just at this point where I'm pretty okay with, especially seeing what's happening else in the rest of the United States of America,
yeah.
and I can go out and be like, oh, my street's not flooded,
Yeah.
my plumbing's working,
Yep.
I have electricity,
I left.
and I can drink the water that's in my lake.
So
Shocking.
the garage door, if you hit the button and you don't pay attention,
Right,
the track binds.
Oh, so
and
it
it'll kick back open.
kicks back up. Right, yeah.
So twice in the past couple of weeks, my garage door has gone down,
Okay.
and I've gone and fucked off and got ready for bed.
Yep.
And it's gotten to a bind and opened back up. So I wake up at the
Shit,
first
right
thing in the
back
morning,
up
let
again.
Riley outside, and the garage door's open.
Okay.
And you
All
know
right.
what the amazing thing is? Nobody stole my goddamn lawnmower. I wake up and I'm like, there's no homeless guy living in my garage, and I still have a lawnmower. This is fucking great
It's
here.
kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing. I made a purchase. I made a bike. I bought a bike, and I bought a bike. I had no intention of buying a bike. It snuck up on me.
Why? I don't really think it constitutes buying it. I think it was an exchange.
It 100% snuck up on me. I'm trying to pull a picture up of it
I
right
know.
now. We're having some audio video problems. I'm going to throw it up on the main screen. You all can just fucking deal with
Yeah.
it. The bike I bought was a 2024. Oh yeah, that's right. Got your attention now, didn't it?
Now I'm thinking, like, what could possibly be it?
Right? For
Right?
real. Uh huh.
Like, what? Can you give us any tidbits of, like, size or...
Well, I can. It's
There
a
it is.
250 cc's.
Well, you didn't have to just go and do that.
Okay, well, we're here. Okay.
It finally worked.
Oh,
Yeah, it
cool.
finally worked. It's
Wow,
a 250 cc's, and it is a Honda. CRF 250F. And this thing is one lighting rig away from being like my perfect, Mid-Ohio
I was about to say, that's your barrel racing rig.
Yeah, right.
there.
Exactly.
I know.
You're not just fucking whistling Dixie there, my friend. It is exactly what I didn't know that I wanted, and I would never go into a dealership and pay $6,400 for this bike.
A dirt bike.
Because that is what they're charging for these fucking things. They are $6,400 out the door at our local dealership. I know I called. They're kind of weird because they're made in Japan, which is unusual for bikes of this size, right? It is electric start fuel injected.
Yep.
That's also interesting for bikes of this size, because I know SSR will sell you a 250 that rips your fucking arms off, but it's not fuel injected and it doesn't have the Honda badge on the side. I called around, and this particular fella called me up, and he's, not a kid, but he bought this bike so he could go trail riding, and went out one time and said, I am not a friend of the dirt. And so he'd been calling around and trying to get anybody to take this bike in trade, because he tried selling it directly on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
And he said, I've never had such a bad 2 weeks of my life.
Exactly.
Was when he had this bike listed on Facebook Marketplace. It's really, really unpleasant out there, especially if you're trying to sell a brand new bike with literally 3 hours on it.
Or a vintage bike with
Right.
not being
And he
perfect.
put the Tusk handguards on it, and we're going to
Settle
talk
down.
about that. We're going to talk about this.
Or a free couch.
Right. So it is a very interesting thing. So I told him, hey, bring it by. What's the worst thing I can say? And he took 0 seconds to hesitate or think about it. He was like, it's on the trailer now. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And he happened to want to trade it for a Vespa that I had in stock.
Nice.
And it's the top of the range, so that's all great. So yay. So anytime we can make a bike that I'm into for in the neighborhood of, $8,000, fuck off and go away, that makes me feel really good in this economy.
Nice.
He turned out to be the nicest guy in the goddamn world, showed up, and he said, go, take it off the trailer, go ride it. And I did, and that's a level of confidence, too, that we don't normally see with people. They're like, oh, they want to tell you this or that, or about what happened in the garage that day, whatever. No, he just said, there it is on the trailer, just keep, go ride it.
Well, if he rode it once, I'm sure it had like an hour on it.
3 hour. I checked the hour meter. It's 3 hours on it.
That's why he's confident.
Right.
It's new.
3 hours on it. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, cool.
There's only so many trees you can wreck it into in 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
And not leave a mark. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
He spent more
it
time
is-
putting on the bark busters, and they were the real, legit bark busters.
It is like I looked at it and went, that's a
Not
thing.
bad.
That's a thing. It's
So the negotiations ensued.
a hell of a thing, actually.
I took it out and took it for a ride in the neighborhood, and I was like, well, it's totally fine.
Right.
It's totally okay for what it is.
The only problem we have with it is we have to hide it literally in the back of the shop, or somebody
yeah.
will go through the brick wall.
Tom
to
is
get
not
that
kidding.
thing.
No,
Tom is
yeah.
not kidding. When I was unloading it off the trailer, I told the guy, I was like, I'm going to do a test ride. And I went through the cemetery and I did a little bit of off-roady stuff. And I was like, this is actually a pretty sweet little bike. And I rode it around and I got it back to the shop and I immediately fucking hit it in the garage.
Yep.
Because the guy's like, what did you do with it? I said, I put it in the garage because we can't have anybody drive by and see a bright red dirt bike is near this building, or they will take the door off the hinges to come back later and steal it. So, yeah, and the deal ensued. I can't believe I gave somebody $4,200 for a dirt bike with no headlight, no taillight, no turn signals. Because I told Tom, had it been the L model with the lights, I would have been the happiest guy in the world,
I've been eyeballing the rally the past couple of weeks.
Of course. However, that wasn't here, right? And the other problem is when we look at something like, the Honda CR, that CR250L.
Yeah.
Well, now it's not $49.9 anymore. Now it's $62.49.
Yeah.
So now we're throwing, excuse me, an extra $1,300 on this thing. Well, I checked it out. Lighting rigs are like $200.
Yeah, they're like Baja specialties.
We can do that.
Yeah,
we have the technology.
We have the technology.
We have the technology. And nice enough Honda put all the wiring already there.
Oh, yeah.
So all the stuff that needs to be there is already there. So I can get my L, and I'm the only one going to know that it's got an off-road only title.
Yeah.
Because dealer plate.
Dealer plate.
So I'm fine with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Can't you, if you take it in and if it has an off-road only title,
Yes.
but if you do all the stuff, can't you get it inspected and have it switched over?
No.
Really?
No. Not in our state. So once
So how is Brown Beardo doing that with the 190s and stuff?
he's managed to find a friendly person.
Huh.
But what I can promise you this is if a title is branded for off-road use only,
Yeah.
and you want that vehicle to be acknowledged as being a now DOT approved on-road vehicle, guess who needs to do that? Not you. And if you do all those things and you go through the trouble like I've done, which is getting the state inspector, going to the state highway patrol, and the whole deal, they're going to make sure that now that your exhaust is EPA compliant, that your lighting is all DOT stamped and DOT legal. Everything on that vehicle needs to be, well, a CR250L. So that getting a bike made from an off-road use title to an on-road use title is not simply a matter of convincing the lady at the title bureau to put it on, to make this vehicle legally on road. And that's a big thing is, right now we're going through a nightmare. If you happen to own certain Japanese K vehicles or Delicas and things like that, many states, including Michigan, are taking away people's titles. And that vehicle you've owned for 10 years, that's been an on-road use title for 10 years, you're getting a letter in the mail that says, guess what? Your vehicle is now an off-road use only vehicle. It is not a matter of going to visit the title bureau to unfuck it. That which the state hath taken away, let known man restore. They don't want it to be fun and easy and exciting. They want to say, we're saying that vehicle is no longer safe for our roads. And honestly, let's be clear about it. This is not an on-road vehicle. These are not on-road tires. This is an off-road vehicle, right? Nothing about this vehicle. There's a reason it's $1,300 less than the vehicle that is an on-road vehicle, right? So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go through the hootenanny to try to create an on-road title for it. We called that place that was called Dirt Legal.
Yeah.
If it's got tires, we'll get you an on-road title. We called. Well, except for these following 497 circumstances and situations. And then they wouldn't call me back. And then we contacted them and realized they'd been put out of business.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So Dirt Legal is a was. It's no longer an is.
Wow.
It is now a was. And that's how fast it is when somebody jumps up on the internet and says, you send me $1,200, I'll mail you a title for your dune buggy or your side-by-side or your
pretty much what it
1962 Vespa.
I mean, the
right?
state of Maine literally closed the loophole because everybody was going through the state of Maine to get
Correct.
through the loophole.
Right. Yeah. And we have learned, at least, between Renee and I, making two different attempts from two different positions. One as a 1970s vehicle that we need a title for, and the other is a more modern vehicle that we need a title for. In both situations, Dirt Legal went, yeah, we can't do that. The best we can get you is a registration in one of these particular states. That's not a title. Yeah. A registration in a particular state, that can get a little dicey, That's a tough one. That's pretty cool.
So,
and what's funny is if you go to Dirt Legal's website, I just wanted to throw this up for people that were playing the game at home. It specifically says, and this is not me, this is their website, saying it is not possible to register a UTV in Ohio as a street legal for the reasons discussed below.
Because a UTV should not be street legal.
Well, exactly it. That's exactly right. And I love the fact that they're like, however, it is possible to make a UTV street legal in Ohio by registering it in another state. The resulting title, registration, and license plate will allow you to drive your side-by-side on rural roads, highways, and city streets in Ohio and beyond. That is not a factual statement.
Yeah.
If you have a Montana license plate on your side-by-side, the Cleveland police will still take it from you. Because we do not live in a country where you can say, but helmets aren't legal. Helmets aren't a required thing in Ohio, so I should be able to ride my motorcycle in California with no helmet because I have an Ohio license plate on the back of my motorcycle.
You know what, though?
Try that argument.
They're doing something because I see these things pull into Summit all the time, and they got Ohio tags on them.
I appreciate that you do, and that is just an absence of enforcement.
But, like, how are they getting the plates?
They're getting plates. You can register farm vehicles. You can get farm use plates. The only place that you can get a license plate for a non-DOT approved vehicle in the state of Ohio is Put in Bay, Kelly's Island. They will license plate. They will title a golf cart.
So, I mean, like, we have cops
Yep.
at the place, and they're driving right by.
Oh,
So they just don't care. It's probably what it is.
And one of our customers at the shop, who is a cop, has one of these ridiculous outlawed at Mid-Ohio desert side-by-sides with all the whip antennas and all the Brady Lighty shit with a pipe you can hear from Mars. And he went down our street the other day, and I was like, what cock-sucking son of a bitch is doing this,
Is that me again?
driving down our street with the front wheels in the air on a dune buggy? And I looked over, and I was like, oh, shit, it's Hector. I was like, yeah, it's a cop. Like, it is literally a cop.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, there you go. So anyway, just careful. Careful with that stuff. Don't send $1,200 to a company who isn't actually going to give you an Ohio
It
title.
seems like a perfect time to pimp a friend of the podcast.
Yeah,
Saints title work.
Saints title actually does real legitimate title work. You will do the paperwork. He will do it correctly. You will buy and you'll sell the vehicle to him. He will own the vehicle momentarily. He will title the vehicle in Tennessee, and he will send you an actual real title as though you're buying this vehicle from your friend in Tennessee.
But just for on-road already.
Absolutely.
He's
Correct.
not fucking with all this other
He
bullshit.
is not.
No.
He is not willing to risk his business
Right.
to pretend that your 2024 Polaris, whatever side-by-side thing, is all of a sudden a DOT approved vehicle.
Right.
Right. He's not dicking around. He's not gonna. Yeah. Hello. Oh, look at Johnny McElfresh
Hey,
showed up.
Johnny Mac.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's great.
I had a channel running because I had faith in you.
That's right. We knew you could do it.
Oh,
we knew
the
you
comment
could do
about
it.
Chris Smith playing us out. That ain't gonna happen.
Right, that ain't gonna happen. No, not as long as he draws breath.
Yeah, nobody wants that to happen at all.
Johnny McElfresh, I was telling the people that the bike I bought this week was a completely unnecessary purchase.
Oh, we have somebody else outside too.
Oh, we do?
GL 150, your friend that you just sent
Yeah,
the address
yeah.
to earlier. He
Yeah.
has arrived.
He has arrived.
His bike is out front.
All right, kick ass.
I'll go grab him.
You gonna grab him and invite him in? Fantastic.
then
That's
we're gonna
Bobby
have to-
Costello.
We're going to have to pause.
Well, we might have to give it a little
then
bit
I'll
of a
have to
pause.
turn on a
We can do
channel.
this one,
Yep,
right?
that's fine.
I don't have anything
Or-
infectious.
Or
just
you know
so
what? We can do that one. We can do that one over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one to do because
Bring
that's
him on
just
shore.
you just turn that one on.
Really, I do.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to pause it and we'll start.
Yeah,
again.
you need to pause it.
Yep.
Oh, I don't think you need to pause it. Do you?
I have to because
Oh,
I can't turn
because
on
you can't
a channel.
track the channel.
Yep.
I got it. All right. We'll be back
Right
in 1
back.
second.
Hey, we got numbers again.
Yeah, it's like we just keep adding people.
Just keep
I
adding.
love it. We started as a nice tight 5 today.
No, yeah. Did you
there we
lock
go.
the
Good
gate? Did you lock the gate?
Did I lock the gate? Is it safe?
Pete's going to show up at any minute.
Is it
Pete
safe?
and Sean are just going to wander in. Hey, what's going on?
I heard there was a podcast tonight. Okay, great. That's cool, man. I dig it. So I'm going to go around the room again just because we've added bodies. That's all. It's just fair to do. To my immediate left is.
Darren Krapke.
To his left is.
Steve Sleepy.
To his left.
Sleepy Pete.
And late. But here.
Johnny Mac.
And our new friend.
Bobby Costello.
And behind the bar.
Tom Bennington.
All right.
And the crowd
So
goes
just to
wild.
do introductions, Bobby came into our shop the other day, and I knew he was good people because he was wearing a Moto Guzzi shirt and a Ducati hat.
Oh, yeah.
And he was riding what?
A 1959 Vespa.
Sweet.
Oh. Well, I guess
Motosexual.
I guess your chocolate's in my peanut butter now.
Right.
Right?
We welcome the motosexuals
Yeah.
around
Oh,
here.
wait. Did you mention peanut butter?
Thanks, Screwball Paul.
Who brought that? Screwball Paul.
Screwball
Dude, I
Paul.
served my time. Don't bring that up again.
Right. I'm drinking. He actually just poured me cranberry and Screwball.
That is a peanut butter
this
and
is a
jelly shot.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Well, I don't think that's a
I've
shot.
never been
This
happy
peanut
that I
butter
quit
jelly
drinking.
time. Peanut
Never
butter
been
jelly.
happier that I quit
This is,
drinking.
I mean, if anybody wants to try it,
No.
That is literally Becky's
It
favorite
is-
drink.
and if I had to give any criticism, I would say that it's a little heavy on the jelly. The peanut butter's light. I like my PB&J's real gluey. Extra gluey.
Peanut butter
Yeah.
jelly
Hey, I
time.
am winging this
What's the
thing.
difference between jam and jelly?
I can't jelly my dick in your ass.
Anybody below the
That's at the
$10
$5 Patreon level. You'll get that punchline.
For the 15th time this year.
Oh, and yes, exactly. That's just a standard. That's now just on the greatest hits list. That'll be in the top 10 recycled jokes of the ClevelandMoto podcast, circa what 13 years now of this fucking thing, or 12 years. So, what are you doing in town, Mr. Costello?
I am working on a movie in town. They're doing a new Superman from James Gunn. And I've been on it for the past few months, and we're finishing up in Cleveland.
Spending a lot of time down by the Euclid Arcade.
Yeah, that's where I'm staying.
Is the suit really tight?
Really?
Is it
That's
like
cool.
really tight?
Seems like a retro suit.
It is pretty tight. I can't. I shouldn't
Like a
talk
tiger?
too much about it.
No.
I was
For the
insinuating
record,
that you were
You're
the
playing
main
Superman.
actor.
Oh yeah. It is tight on me. Yes.
yeah, it's tight on
Yeah.
you. Right.
Yeah.
Anytime you've test driven it.
Yeah.
And so, what are you doing there?
I'm a techno crane operator, so we have off-road base and telescoping arm and a bunch of electric vehicles, and just doing a bunch of action shots.
That's
For the
cool.
most part, it's great.
That's fun.
It is fun.
We're happy you're in
Is
Cleveland.
Cleveland treating you okay? You haven't been shot at or anything
No,
like
it's
that?
been great. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, so
Okay.
It's so safe and
He's from
clean
Atlanta,
here.
the Detroit of the South.
yeah, it is. It's been a
I
dream.
thought that was New Orleans.
Ooh.
No, that's the least corrupt city in the Caribbean.
How do you like the Euclid Arcade? How are the rooms down there?
It's great, except for there's a wedding, like Friday and Saturday.
I was gonna
night.
say,
So like when I
We've
wrapped
been to some
early,
weddings there, yeah.
and it was like came in and it was just blaring music, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. Yeah,
This is a wedding.
You don't want to do the chicken dance?
yeah. One of the guy I was working with last week managed to get a piece of cake. Go down and
Really?
yeah, and
He
in
slid
shorts
in?
and a t-shirt. It
The guy that was
great.
in the shop with you?
Yeah,
Or- yeah,
he
that's
came in,
funny.
he went down and got a piece of cake at the person's wedding. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
that's cool.
If you tell them you're working on Superman, it probably might open some doors. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, Cleveland appreciates anytime somebody comes to spend money in our city.
I saw
Yeah.
that wink, John.
Yeah.
Just relax.
A little bit of something. I was just telling the guys how this week I bought a Honda CRF 250.
Well, it's a great
No
bike.
way.
Yep. Frank, a CRF 250F. You know what year it is? 2024. It's brandy goddamn new.
Wait, 250?
250.
I didn't know they were still. I thought they made 300s.
250.
It's a 250
It's
and
a
24.
250. It is a 250 and 24.
I'm confounded.
Again, and it's one lighting rig away from being perfect Nirvana. So I went out and had fun playing around on it.
So it's a CRF.
It's a
not
CRF.
it's not the L. So that
It's
I
a
get it.
CRF 250F.
You
got it.
I see now.
And I've
Actual
been,
dirt bike.
yeah, it's an actual dirty bike.
So they
yeah.
didn't bump those up to 300 cc's.
They are exactly what they are. Yep, they are exactly what they are.
And it's still air cooled and all that.
Yeah,
jazz?
it's all the stuff. I'm having fun with it. I was riding around. It's actually a nice little motorcycle. The problem was I didn't so much as buy the CRF 250 as I sold a bike I wanted to sell and kind of agreed to take this in trade just because I'm like, yeah, that's got to go. And if I got to have something coming in, instead of green piles of money, which are my favorite type of motorcycle because they take up less room, I was like, well, I can play with this. We have Mid-Ohio coming up. This will be a fun little Mid-Ohio bike. And if we sell it at Mid-Ohio, that's even better. But hey, what the fuck? Let's go out and have this thing. But it is fun to have a literally push button start dirt bike.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's kind of neat. It's just neat. I want to say it was just a fun thing. And it definitely weighs 265 pounds. So, you know, you're just like, okay, this is just basically me wrestling with any one of my friends. This is exactly what it feels like. And
Janice weight.
it was fun. It's very cute little bike.
It gets a little awkward. There's some boners. It's fine.
Yeah, it is awkward boner. Yeah, that's exactly.
Are
You
you
know
going to
what?
try to get it street legal or no?
I am going to do it my way. I'm going to just
Yeah.
buy 2 items. I'm going to buy a headlight, plug and play. I'm going to buy a tail light, plug and play. and that will be enough. Taillight / brake light and headlight. That'll be enough.
Does it do the
Slap a dealer plate on it, maybe.
Does it have the AC outs for those?
Tom?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I think that's your job.
Do you know what I can tell you is I saw the kit that they sell.
Yeah.
And the kit did not have anything on it that resembled
Gotcha.
what you would need
we'll
to
wing it.
make AC from where AC did not
And
exist
nothing
to
else
begin
will be
with.
total loss. It's fine.
It has a battery. It's electric start.
Oh, then it's fine.
So there's 12 volts living in this machine.
Yeah.
We can steal all 12 of
with
them.
with a regulator rectifier. We're
Right,
good.
exactly.
And if you think about it, where you're going to ride it, it's like, oh, we're going to the restaurant at Mid-Ohio.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
not going for like 400 miles.
Are you familiar with what Mid-Ohio is?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, last year was my first year at Mid-Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, right on.
okay.
Yeah, I did. I raced.
You look a little haggard.
I am a little haggard. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like Barber Vintage Festival we have in Alabama, but like no rules. It's tight. Barber is like so uptight. In Mid-Ohio, it's
Yeah.
like life flights and
Well, they
racing and
did
life
shut down the
flights.
barrel races last year.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's a blast.
It's
Good,
it's definitely if last year was your first year, that was a pretty good year. But it's definitely it's had waves, man. It's kind of in a pretty good wave right now.
Yeah,
Of,
I agree.
Of craziness, but
Yeah, I totally agree.
But
I'm a big fan.
I think though in our group though, a lot less people are a lot less people are murdering themselves.
Yes.
Like I think we've hit the age now where like I don't have a hip anymore, but I'm not going to lose the other one. So like, we're at that stage, so which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
Speak for
fun.
yourself.
Smith's going to hit the jumps.
He's taking his Janus up for the hair scramble. So
Yep. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked as usual to be getting ready for our AMA Vintage Day season. We've got all the people coming in from out of town. We got people are making their arrangements. People are like, okay, well, I got this camp spot. I got this camp spot. You know, we're gonna pool together all of our camp spots, and we'll be the size of a small liquor drinking community.
We're gonna send Sleepy out on Wednesday.
Oh, man.
Me and Bruce have worked out plans.
Have you really?
Oh,
He's gonna-
I'm part of Team Bruce on his pit crew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I got to pay $30 or $40 to slide into this get early thing so we can set up our pit area, and then I'm just gonna whoosh and try to get some tape up so we can.
That
get
is
it
a great idea.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think that's a great idea, man.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
all over
that's-
that.
If it works out, that's the plan. If not,
Yeah.
then I'm getting up at 4 and I'll be
Yeah,
there
just
Thursday morning.
do the way we do.
Yep.
It's pretty fun. Have you gotten to ride anything other than your 59 Vespa, your Allstate, since you've been here?
Yeah, I rode a Gorelli moped, and then I
Did you
rode-
find Chris Hoke?
Yeah, Chris Hook and I had lunch the other day. Yeah.
Ah, you see?
But it wasn't Chris's. It was my buddy Will Dalos's. And then it actually came up from Atlanta 2 weekends ago for that moped rally.
the moped
in
rally,
town.
yeah.
And then I rode a Derby that also came up from Atlanta for that.
Nice,
rally.
nice. Small bore, man.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I think that's about it. Yeah, I rode a smoke machine around that my 59 blew a crank seal. It actually
yeah, it
came
did.
off. And
Really?
then I replaced that on my
Blew a
on my
seal.
day off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
Oh
job.
no, sir, that's just ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass, man.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. It's fun. It's great that you can come into town and hang out people and find good people. I haven't talked to Chris Hoke in years. I just keep sending him customers.
Yeah, he's as Chris Hokey as ever.
As is,
Yeah,
right, that
great
is
dude.
that is an absolute a perfect human being right there.
Yeah, he sure
Yeah,
is.
he has rescued my ass from so many people that were like, but you need to work on my pook. And I'm like, I don't need to do shit. I need to give you Chris Hoke's phone number. Pray he never changes it.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'm certain I've sent 100 people to Chris Hoke.
Tell me more about Chris Hoke. Is that the kid who had the really fast moped?
Well, yes, but
Okay.
he's also been
I say kid, I don't know.
He's been the corner of mopeds in Cleveland for 30 years.
Yeah.
And when I first met him, he was like, didn't have a garage, didn't have anything. And he was in, a apartment situation and still wrenching day in, day out in the backyard with bikes under tarps, And, it's been fun to watch him grow up and to be like, to consistently be solid in the scene. And we're talking about like the song Hollywood Holt, like throw a kid on that bitch.
So
they're mentioning Chris Hoke in the
he's
song.
super weird then, right?
He's super moped. Yeah, he's super moped guy. Yeah, right.
No, I mean that most affectionately.
No, but look, if your city doesn't have a moped guy,
Yeah.
you don't want to be the moped guy unless you're really ready to carry that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to run into a lot of people that have great intentions and no money.
I was into the moped for a split second there.
Yeah.
I had a Honda PA50, the black one.
Yeah.
I
got it running pretty good, and I'm like, it goes 20 miles an hour.
I was a Tomos guy for exactly 5 minutes, and I went, I'm fat.
Oh, yeah. That was a very big realization there for me.
Yeah, I'm a
I'm
200.
like, okay.
I'm a 200-pound, 6'1" reason why a Puch Magnum Mark II won't get into second gear.
I'm trying to make it run better, and I'm like, I think this is as good as it runs.
That's all you get.
But you know what sucks is when you have that realization, it kind of kills that fucking fond memory of you, like when I was 13, thinking of how fucking dope that thing was.
Oh, I was on the
yeah.
forums, like the 1977 moped and all that stuff, and reading posts by the puddle cutters and all that,
Moped Army.
Moped Army for me was
Army.
the shit. And I mean, I would go up to the Thunderdrome, the Velodrome in Detroit.
Yeah.
And rock around on like Malaguti 50cc, 70cc kitted bikes. And I was like, yeah, well, it's not a moped, so you're not very cool. And I'm like, look, man, I made my Puch Magnum Mark II as fast as I could goddamn make it, and it's still not even slightly fast.
Right.
It's still kind of sad.
Yeah, Dan Kastner was the dude up there in 77 that was just like pushing moped stuff super hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every city had somebody that did that.
Yeah.
Our Puch dealer, the guy in Cleveland when I was a kid, you got to remember, I turned 14 in 1983. That was literally the high water mark. I mean, that was just all the things had come together in 1980. By the time 83 came around, the paper route was in full swing. I was making a lot of money. And the prick in my neighborhood that had the silver like the silver Puch Magnum Mark II.
Yeah.
That
The green, like,
fucking,
stripe, the thing on the
fucking
side.
prick that showed up with that thing. And he's like, I was like, hey, man, I let you ride my mini bike. I'll let you ride that. Can I ride your... No. This was expensive. And I was like, someday, motherfucker. And like when I turned 30, I bought one. And I bought both. I bought the silver and the UPS matched set. I paid $200 for the pair. And they both had the glove box door, the toolbox door was intact. Everything was there. I immediately sold the UPS one to San Francisco for $3,500. And then I used that money to build up my silver one and did all the pipe, did everything that we could do to make the bike as fast as we possibly could. John remembers it at the shop.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, everybody, go out and ride this, because this is the high water mark for where a Puch Magnum Mark II can be. And everybody went, so sad.
Yeah, but dude, that's because we've all had these years. Like when I had the Tomos 2-speed, that was I saved up, and everybody made fun of me because it was a step through.
Yeah.
I put some shit on it. It would do a solid 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I put 20,000 miles on that.
You
thing
did?
when I was 14.
Wow.
Years old. And that was my freedom unit, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, because like, what are you doing Saturday? I don't know.
Right. I'm just disappearing in a Targa.
Yeah. All I'd have strapped to the back was like the fucking the thing of two-stroke oil from Fisher Big Wheels.
You were
so can fill
Czechoslovakian
up
before Czechoslovakian was cool.
yeah, dude.
Wow, good for you.
Oh,
that's pretty
I love that
rad.
thing, man.
Yeah.
So I have fond memories. I'm glad I never built one up again and ruined my memories
really?
of how awesome that thing was.
As a bit of an adult, somebody gave me the keys once. We were down at the Dragon doing a thing at the Dragon with a bunch of two-strokes. And, those back then we would do the Suches stuff, and then sometimes we do Dragon stuff. And I was down there, and this kid shows up, and I went, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, it's an RD80. And I went, I'm pretty sure I need to ride that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I took it out, and it had chamber on it, right? And I was like, oh, I love this thing. This is angry. And I went out and rode it. I was like, because I've had way too many MB5s. Like, I've had the stuff, but when I rode the RD80, I was like, well, knowing that this exists makes all of the other things stupid.
Yep. The sad truth is,
Yeah.
every time I see one, it's blown up.
Well, of course it is.
And every time I see it, it's blown up and $1,000 over what it should be because they're too expensive.
Oh, okay, but
They're
so cool
way
looking.
too expensive.
They look great.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're amazing looking.
But everybody's like, no, the motor is trash. It's out of the bike. It's in this fucking basket. I want $2,500 for it. I'm like, really?
I had a hard time keeping up with a young man on an RD80 at the Dragon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and he just kept making himself smaller in the future.
Yep.
Like, he just, and I was like, God, that's so good.
And they're all green. They're always like metallic green.
Yeah, that was a metallic green one. Yeah, so cool. Such a cool bike. Yeah. And again, I have 160 horsepower motorcycles in my garage, and I'm talking about an RD80.
Yeah.
That's really fucking stupid.
But this is kind of the thing, though, is
Yeah.
we don't stick to like. I mean, we have as
No.
much fun at 5 horsepower as we do as 5,000.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing.
I just had a great memory pop up. So I had a Tomos Targa in high school, and I bought it for like $20. And I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I had wanted to build an expansion chamber for it for like years.
Yeah.
And I knew how to like stick weld and use a torch and use brass bronze.
Yeah, you're brazing, yeah.
And I was maybe like 6 hours out. I get my wisdom teeth out, and I was completely fucked up out of my mind. And I built a chamber for that pipe, like out of like hand rolled steel and brass bronze.
Yeah?
And put it on that bike. I don't remember even doing it.
Well, that's amazing.
But it was like a day project of me just fucked up in the garage,
Oh,
like
yeah.
as a teenager. And that pipe still exists.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, somebody in Atlanta still has it. I kept it, and like somebody I know was like, "Oh man, I have to have that," because it's like all beat up, and like it was just like ding, 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 in the garage whacking away at it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was funny us having AD up here because we don't get to see AD enough, right? And AD is, they always say like one guy, like, that guy's the gasoline to my matches, or that guy's the matches to my gasoline. AD brings both,
Yeah.
right? When AD shows up, you don't have to worry if the party's going to get started. The party already started. AD showed up, right? And he can be a handful, and I've known him for a very long time. But it's funny to watch as we have gotten older to see AD as now a older fella, right? Like, and there's still that element there. He's still in a punk rock oi band.
Yep.
He's still all the things that he is. But now to just be like, we were sitting on a rooftop the other night with the world's greatest $1 million view of Cleveland, having beers on the rooftop, just sitting around being like, yeah, man, you know what I think I'd like to do? I think I'd like to put this kid on this bike and do that. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we're all still the same. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, we might have a little bit of a heavier wallet now. We can actually make some shit happen. But he's going to be moving to San Diego next.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it'll be nice when he's in San Diego. That'll be cool.
Oh yeah.
Another good. That's one more night that you can't remember in San Diego.
Exactly.
Got to budget that one on the trip. Yeah, we're not going to get out of that one easy. So that's pretty fucking cool. So the what other events do you have on the horizon? How long are you going to be in town?
Let's see. I'll be here till the weekend before Mid Ohio.
Right.
We were going to finish like the Thursday, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go straight to Mid Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now I have to go back to Atlanta and work like 2 days.
What?
And then come back up. So,
Oh man,
yeah, and I have to bring my
that's bad planning.
Husky that needs to be worked on so I could do the above 300 or above 300 race, whatever that pre-75 race, and then grab my trials bike and put a muffler back on it for the trials, our trials, observed trials on Sunday.
So which one are you going to ride in the observed trials?
TY250.
Okay,
Honda. I do have one of Dick Mann's old trials bikes that he built.
Oh, do you?
That somebody let me borrow years ago. And
Wow.
But it's like British, and
Oh, yeah.
I did one event with it, and the oil cap fell off, and one of the foot pegs fell off in a creek, and like just like all this like British things, all these British things happened to it. And
That's normal.
Yeah, and I won still, like because there was like 2 people in the class.
Right, I was going to say, yeah. At this point, if you just make it further than the other guy, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still on loan, and I can use it whenever. So
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say the word trials anymore since a Sherco tried to take my testicles off a few years ago.
Dude.
And so that Sherco, first of all, the French put all the things in the wrong spot. So the thing I needed the most, which was the kill switch, wasn't where a kill switch is supposed to be, because fuck the French. And 2, I was so excited it was running after not running for 3 years, I decided to just jump on the bike and ride it even with the seat not on it.
And wasn't the clutch stuck too? Like
And the clutch was stuck because it'd been sitting for 3 years. So as soon as I put it into one, it just trials biked away. And I was like, well, this is manageable.
Of course it didn't stall.
It's not going to stall.
Just started spinning the wheel.
It's a freaking two-stroke 230. It's not going to stall. And I was like, okay, fine. Okay, we'll free that clutch up,
Grab the clutch and whack the throttle.
And let's grab the clutch and just hangity. And we'll go up through the gear stack. We'll come down through the gear stack. And eventually that clutch will let go. It did not let go. And I fed it in, like, as I'm going very slowly in a very controlled manner on the back corner of Mid-Ohio's campsite, somebody decides to back his $7 used to be a pop-up trailer out in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so busy playing the pipe organ of the Sherco trying to make the goddamn thing open up. He just backed out hard and fast. And I was like, whoa. And I grabbed a handful of front brake and I grabbed a handful of clutch, which wasn't clutching. And the bike just went, front brake, that means nothing. And then I pushed all the buttons on the right-hand set. None of them are a kill switch because it's French. It's over here on the wrong side. Fuck you. And I just fed the Sherco into the side of the camper, and the hooks that hold the seat on went directly into my gentleman parts.
Because we didn't have the seat on.
Because I didn't have the seat on. Because I was like, I don't need a seat. What am I doing? And then, so yeah, restitution had to be made. Apologies were issued. Flesh came out of my body.
Was flinged at cinch.
Was flinged at cinch.
I had his leg on me.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yeah. And then John taped me up real quick. And I didn't want to go to the emergency room full of liquor, so I figured I'd give it a day to settle down. And then I went in and got a whole bunch of stitches.
Give it a day to fester.
Give it a day to fester, and then I got a whole bunch of stitches. That was fine. It put a fucking tamper on my weekend is what it did. It slowed my ass down, because usually...
Put a tampon on your weekend.
Yeah. Do you know Brad Obadowski? He's a trials guy from Nebraska, and I always was like, he's not just a trials guy from Nebraska. He is HVC motorcycles.
Oh,
He
yeah,
does,
yeah.
So he does all of the two-stroke pipes. And if you say, like, I like two-stroke pipes, you have to talk to Brad Obadowski. He's the guy who's like, so when you say you've got an RZ or an RD, how committed to this are you? Because I would like to help you spend all your money. And he's a great dude. He's a fantastic guy. And I love that his logo for his shop is just a fucking chamber. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. That's badass.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good dude. Yeah. And if you're Trials is kind of a family.
Yeah.
Like the sidecar people all know each other. They're all family people.
Oh, they sure do.
And the Trials people are all friendly family.
Every year, like, we stay usually to watch the trials, and we're there by the woods. And some of those older cats, like those dudes that are like 70, going over those logs on those like 1960s bikes, or like they're maybe 80, 85. They're old dudes, and like, like they're so over this way. I'm just sitting there like terrified, like, oh, please don't go over, dude. Like it's so scary.
Oh yeah, I did the Beeline last year, and there was a guy that I was with. He was probably like 75 or so, and he was in jeans, and like you could tell he's an old trials guy, and he was on a Triumph. And he's like, oh shit, this is gonna suck. He's like, we gotta put on a show though. You know, he was just
really?
Yeah, he was just like all about it. All he cared about was like, you know, you gotta do it for the guys. You know, they gotta see.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he felt committed to.
Yeah, he just had to do it.
Just had to go out and do it.
But a lot of the older dudes have a different style. Like,
Yes, they
like
do.
It's a much more
Absolutely.
haphazard. Like it looks like they're fucking gonna go over the handlebars. when
I
they go
always
over
loved
shit
the
and
idea of
stuff.
trials, but I need to be like half of me, you know.
No, there's some big fellas that go out and do it.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm working on it.
You know our friend Kurt Eprecht, and he's big. Like, I mean, he's, you know, cheese.
Yeah.
And Kurt is the guy that put together that Sherco.
Yeah, that's
And he had Copperhead like do all the suspension work and everything for that thing. Is it Copperhead? I think what's the name of that trials company? They do all the suspension shit though. And so he had that whole thing shopped out by them. But he's 400 pounds. That's asking a lot of a trials bike. And I give him credit for being brave enough to be like, I'm going to go out and do trials riding. That's cool. That's pretty badass. Yeah. We're just generally people that are back in the trials area on inappropriate vehicles. So we're just like, well, we've had a few wobbly pops. Let's go back there on these mini bikes and see exactly how trily we can get. Let's do the hill climb on 3 HP. Let's see what happens. That's the magic of Mid-Ohio.
the unofficial trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So you're doing the hair scramble?
Yeah, I'll do the hare scramble if I can either one buy it. If I can get my Husqvarna back up and jam it. After the last race, I could not start it for the last race and barely got it going.
Yeah.
And last year at Mid Ohio, lap 2, it started revving really high. And it was insanely hot, and I couldn't figure out why. I tried hitting the choke, and for some reason when I hit the choke, it just revved to the moon. I was like, well, that's the opposite of what should happen.
That's the opposite of what should be happening.
And so on my third lap, I stopped and looked, and the, carburetor,
boot,
intake manifold, reed block, all of the 6 bolts were gone in between the jug and the reed block, and it was still running.
Yeah.
And it was so hot and running lean, like I was spitting water on my camelback on it, and I took number plate bolts off and put it on it and finished the race, and that probably what did it in, and I did like one more race after that, and it's, it's struggling.
Stupid hot at that point.
So at least a piston in 2 days before I go. I have a boring bar. But
you do have a boring bar?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That saves you.
Yeah.
You can get there from there. Yeah. Just, give yourself a little room.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a lot going on. For 2 days back in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Our buddy entered on a Vespa.
Oh, nice.
On a 2-stroke, a 180. And he entered it, and did he make the start?
Yeah.
He made it to the first turn, right?
So that's ambitious.
But when you get there, I mean, if you need help with shit, we'll be there doing not much.
I mean, it's 10 hours home, and then I'm just going to go right back. So.
This dude over here has been known to turn a wrench. Turns some shit.
I don't know anybody knows.
I'll do whatever I can to help you.
Okay.
It's true. It's true.
No habla.
The funny thing about the AMA, our Vintage Days experience is always that I'll get there and I'll be like, build the camp, get the housekeeping, get everything where it needs to be, make sure everybody's got what they need, make sure everybody's got a tent, make sure everybody's got cots, make sure we got all the stuff covered. And I am in 100% like pure on world building, housekeeping, etc. John will get there, get himself set up, will go into a power relax mode for about 3 hours and then be like, I need something to work on. And you're like, John, settle down, relax. You don't have to work. It's 975 degrees in the direct sunshine. You don't have to fix everything. I need something to work on.
But when he does, like, hey, Johnny Mac, can you? I'm trying to get this bike running. And, you can pick it. And I'm like, all right, I'll take a look.
But
at it.
I will say, when you're done working on shit for the day, you can hear a physical like.
Yeah, it does.
People know not to.
You do a straight up power down. Yeah, because people will show up at the camp and they'll be like, hey, can Johnny Mac take a look at this? I'm like, no, Johnny Mac's been turned off for the evening.
Yeah, he's done.
He's become the bourbon fairy now.
He has applied his wings.
Right, the wings are on, the wrenches are down. Yeah. Every year though, I try to make it better. Like I bring a bigger carpet, so I lay the carpet out under the easy up so we don't lose small parts and tools.
Oh, I got a fucking 20 by 20 Tom, you have it.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot it. The carpet.
No, why have it? It's in the van.
Okay, I can only get another one. That thing's like $20 if I
I don't care. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I'll get more of those.
The point is I could drop a starter jet and not lose it.
Yeah.
And at Mid-Ohio, you could drop a bullet and lose it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Mid-Ohio's, the ground at Mid-Ohio swallows shit. Like, you're just like, hey, is this the... Fuck, where did it go? Like, the Mid-Ohio grabbed it out of my hands.
Grass was mowed with a brush hog 3 weeks ago.
Yes, exactly. So having the carpet down has been the magic, and then we'll set up so you're under the tarp with all the tools and be like, okay, are you quite comfortable now?
Like
I've
we
done
have
everything.
fans.
Yeah, we have
Like
fans
when
going
we
the
say
whole
set
thing.
up the tents. You have two 10 by 20s. I have a 10 by 20 plus all the other 10 by 10s.
We call it a
up,
FEMA camp.
It's literally like a city. We'll have a lounge over here and stuff. Like, it's pretty.
I really like last year. I was like, man, take the trailer behind a car, go out, get like a $20 couch off of Craigslist. Scarf some up and just set up like a whole
and just burn it down on Saturday night.
Or just leave it.
You don't have to leave it. Just burn it down.
Last year we did. I hooked up with my buddy John and his group of guys that they started Gyro Island in the swap meet.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking about John Ho.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he. So I stayed with them last year. And
that's a good place to stay.
It was great.
Yeah, Gyro Island is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was great.
I like how it turns into the impromptu gyro racetrack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's literally 45 by 60 feet and you're just railing a gyro as hard as you can lean it. That's a 3-wheeled Honda delivery bike.
Yeah.
I bought one in Michigan that was like a 2018.
It's so new. Yeah.
And one of our friends who's from
NoCo.
so Northern Colorado, Nokomoto Pete, he's like, you know, Phil, you come across a lot of shit all the time and everything else, but I got a bike I'll bet you can't find, as he's sitting on my Moto Compo. And I'm like, lay it on me, brother. He goes, a Honda gyro? And I was like, whatever. Yeah, that's easy. Canopy.
Ooh.
And I went, oh, you fucking pervert. And so as luck would have it, I'm just doing my thing with the JDM cars and stuff. And this guy calls me up and he goes, yeah, you know, you've got that cappuccino. Yeah, and you got that Honda Beat. I got a Honda gyro, but it's brand new. It's fuel injected. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he goes, no, it's fuel injected. It's ready to go. It's got like 80 miles on it. And I said, of course it does. It goes 7, right? What are you going to do with it?
Deliver Yoshushi.
And it turns out, again, his chocolate was in my peanut butter. And we made a deal in Michigan. I grabbed the thing and I sent the picture to Pete. And I was like, you said you'd buy it. Mm-hmm. You said no bullshit. You show up with it. I'll buy it.
No backsies.
No backsies. And I was like, don't make me own this for the next 10 years. And he bought it. And then he went to the pizza shop and bought all the pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
In Lexington.
That was hysterical.
On a road that is not flat.
Nope.
And drove all the way back with pizzas at like 18 miles an hour.
Hell yeah.
But fortunately, it had the big slow-moving.
It did have a big warning triangle on the back. Thank God, absolutely.
It was perfect though because they haven't been doing the pizza delivery like they used to.
Right,
And
they failed and he succeeded.
He made a lot of money.
I hope he did.
He said he paid his whole trip.
Oh, I hope he did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
And I was riding it around the neighborhood, you know, like before Mid-Ohio happened. I had it for like a couple, 3 months.
Yeah, we all rode it.
We all got to
Yeah.
ride it. And we were like, okay, all right, this is fun. This is weird.
You're not walking.
You want to ride it home? No. Do you want to ride it further than the liquor store? No.
No,
Yeah.
the block was good.
A block is good. Yeah.
It's scary. Like I can't quite get used to it. Every time I'm just like, oh my god, I'm turning.
Well, and if you look at Ho
Yeah.
riding it, he just lanes it over until it past the stops.
Yeah.
With pure confidence on the tires that came on it in 1982. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. Well, one of our friends, not Greg Castillo, it'll come up. He bought one from Ho, and he's running it around here in Cleveland. It gets stolen. It'll come to me. He's the coffee guy. Anyway. Yeah, we all know him. Okay. So his gets stolen. It gets seen by somebody with a camera.
Oh, yeah.
With a meth head on it. With a meth head with a 2.4 of like Natty Light or Milwaukee's Best on the footboards. And a crackhead chick on the back. On the storage area. And that picture went kind of viral. And he had an air tag on it. So, thanks to viral, stupid video of somebody riding LT Magnato. LT Magnato's got it.
Yeah.
And so LT Magnato's got it. Thanks to being viral, thanks to it being weird, thanks to Instagram, police and LT and everybody showed up, and badoom, it's back. They got it back.
Yeah.
Nobody ever recovers
Cleveland
anything.
famous.
And now it is totally Cleveland famous.
I changed my crank seal at LT's shop.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the
Nice.
other day. I had it on the
Nice.
lift, and I ordered from Scooter Works. They're in Chicago.
Yeah,
I was
right
like,
there, baby.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I get in 2 days, and I got
Yeah.
a day off on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I ordered all the tools to do it too, like a
you did?
the clutch clutch puller.
Yeah, I have a
And
drawer full of those.
I
Yeah.
know. I should have just come by, but
Yeah.
so I ordered them, and I was using the clutch tool, and then
Yeah.
I looked on the ground, and I saw another one, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Did I get two? Like, or did I bring this?" And I didn't know he had a Stella. But
Oh, he's got a Stella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had all the
right,
stuff there
right.
too. I didn't even need to order any of it.
Oh shit! Yeah, the clutch compressor tool, or
Or
the
no,
castellated nut
just the
remover
castle
tool.
nut remover, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's very funny though because LT's had all these fun these fun toys, right?
He's got a sweet three-wheeler with like a fucking 150 or
Oh,
something.
you had a
in it.
wheelie bar on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really bars
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
He had that at Mid-Ohio last year.
Yeah. So I just like the whole the Vintage Days thing is these weird camps. It's just these fucking weirdo camps. And you just travel along and you're like, oh, those guys are from that dumbass
Yeah, like
camp.
black metal cap. They just set up a
Yeah.
big. You go by, it's like.
I was there for hours.
Oh, yeah,
The
flaming-
death metal band?
The
Yeah.
flaming pentagram where
Yes.
you can get your butthole shocked. I saw a girl get her butthole shocked there last year.
Yeah.
With the, to
With
get
the
a
purple-
shot.
with the purple, yeah.
Get prodded, yeah.
Yeah, with a purple wand.
That was great.
It's crazy. It's a nice family-friendly environment.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
Well, the kids are
You
all
can go
feral.
do barrel racing for 4 or 5 hours. Go get your butthole shocked.
But you know that
right?
the kids live there all year. They're just feral.
They're just,
They don't leave. Nobody claims them. I've never seen a
Right.
parent by any of these kids ever.
that's how you should raise a child,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I remember one of our friends whose son is now a full-grown adult has grown up at Mid-Ohio. And I remember saying, like, hey, do you know where your son is? And he goes, he knows where the camp is. He'll figure it out. I'm like, he's 8. And then he checks back in at like 8:39. Hey, did you eat anything? Oh, yeah. I had a hot dog from these guys over there, and I had a cheeseburger from those guys over there, and I had some chicken sandwiches from that guy over there, and I had some cake from those people over there. And I'm like, that kid's had 7 meals, right? It's like a stray cat. Everyone's going to feed it.
And who knows how many beers?
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah.
And smokes.
Right. The kid comes back and he goes, yeah, I ate good, but I'm all out of Luckies. Can I get a square from you, Dad? Yeah. But it is fun to watch the kids grow up because we were joking about how the kids don't know how to buy things anymore. Like how the young folks don't know how aggressive marketing works or how aggressive negotiations work in a motorcycle environment. And so the kids would come in and I'd have stuff for sale. Hey, man, really, that seems like a lot of money. I'm like, that means nothing.
This isn't Target. It's not retail.
Right. You have to do some work here. There's a dance we have to do. The one year that I went, I said, fuck it. I hate all of you old men. I don't want to have conversations with any of you. My prices are firm. The prices are the prices on the bike. And they hated it. And I made 0 fends and less sales. And then I was like, shit, I got to do what I got to do. And I did. And we came back, we modified the system the way it should be. Ask
Put
me
a price, mark it down immediately.
Right.
It's like, Dad sold
I've
2
already
hours.
knocked $200.
I just bought a bike that said $2,800 on it. I bought it for $800. I wrote a 3 in front of that, so now it's $3,800. I'm going to walk it all the way back to my campsite, and I'm going to sell it for $1,800 before I get to my campsite. I made $1,000. Yeah. That's how Mid-Ohio works.
Yep.
Don't be scared. You'll get there. Yep. I promise. By Sunday, all the true perverts come out. Those desperate assholes show up.
I still, that mile I walked, because after you dropped me off in the pit,
Right.
or in the
Yeah.
swap meet, and I walked around forever.
Right.
And I was walking back from the swap meet back to the outer 40 that we were at, and you all were like, shit, did you just walk 2 miles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you walk 2 miles?
You
at
walked 2
Mid-Ohio?
miles. I'm like, because it was all right. The better deals are in the stalls.
Yes.
Out
yeah.
in the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
almost bought a CB400 because it was a CB400.
Right. Yeah.
And it was cheap.
It is one of those environments where you just go in there. John's method is great. He's like, don't sell the shit at AMA Vintage Days. Sell it a month before AMA Vintage Days because it's too competitive at AMA Vintage Days. It's
Put it
just
on
too
Marketplace
vicious.
and
Yeah.
just take cash down there if you want to buy anything. Or
Yeah.
better yet, don't.
Yeah.
I'm-
Don't, right?
Or don't.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed.
I've now said it's been like 10 years in a row where I'm like, I'm not really buying anything except one unicorn bike. And every year I pick the unicorn bike. And I'm like, I will not bring anything home that is not that unicorn bike. And then everything else I got to sell. I'm just there to sell shit. And if I happen to see the one unicorn bike, I will buy it and I'll bring it home. And like 5 years ago, I was doing great. And then I saw the Moto Campo. And I was like, fuck. Man, I thought I got away clean. And it was the Moto Campo. And the Moto Campo was the only bike I bought at Vintage Days. That was it. So, yeah.
Well, there was the one year where you were 7:00 p.m. drunk at 2 p.m. and then you bought the Honda Dream.
I did.
So that
And
was
honestly,
that was that one.
that was brilliant because for being shit-faced at 2 p.m., in the moment when the sun came out, and we were in the 4x4, the Toyota Hiace. We're just driving around in a JDM diesel. So we're in the JDM diesel with the AC kicking, drinking cocktails.
Well, I was still drinking, so I was probably helping you quite a bit.
Oh, we were just blubbity through the mud at Mid-Ohio. And I'm like, that is a beautiful Honda Dream. That is a gorgeous Honda Dream. I like Honda Dreams, especially when they're red. And I went over and it was like 7 seconds of negotiations ensued. We found out this guy had the world record Bonneville Salt Flats for a Hayabusa with a sidecar.
Yeah, seriously.
The only one.
All he had to do was show up.
Yeah.
All he had to do was show up.
It's a Hayabusa, so it was like him and his baby mama.
Yes.
Yes.
Also true. Totally true. And
210 mile an hour.
there were only 2 bikes in his stall. One was the red Honda Dream in perfectly mint condition. You touch the starter button, it would start right up.
That's true.
And the other bike was a Honda Hawk NT GT 650. And I was like, I'm not even going to ask you how much for the Hawk because I've had too many of those and I'm not allowed to own any more of those. But I will buy the Honda Dream while I'm looking at the Hawk. And he went, that works. That works. And he came by our camp like 2 days later and he goes, I still got that Hawk if you want it. And I was like, I wasn't kidding. I'm not allowed to own any more Hawks.
It's one of the rules.
It's just a thing.
There's a sign on the door. It says no more Hawks.
No more Super Hawks.
Yep.
No more Hawks.
Yep.
No more any Hawks. We're just done with the whole Hawk family.
No more faux hawks?
No more faux Hawks. No more Falcon Chicken Thunder Hawks.
Yep.
No more. We're done. Yeah. No more Hawks. They're great. That was fun. I'm too old for that shit now.
Unless it's a
Ooh.
Oh God, you just snuck it in there.
He had to.
Yeah, but in the world of popular entertainment, he's now late on that
Yeah,
one.
it's
sorry.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that to my own microphone.
No, you couldn't. You had to do it to one of Sleepy's microphones.
No cap?
That's it. Yeah, no cap. That's
Look,
bad.
kids were hip.
You know what though, John? You were singing that song by Little Big or whatever, that skibbity whatever.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
That's a word now.
I just told
You
you.
were
Yeah.
singing that 7 years ago, man.
Right.
I'm the grandfather.
The early adopter. Yeah, the absolute early adopter.
Hey, kids.
Thank me for skipping.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still putting shit in the trailer right now, and because we stopped being a Gucci dealer several years ago, I've got a shit ton of brand new Moto Guzzi stuff, like a lot of Moto Guzzi stuff, and so we keep opening boxes. We keep like it's an archaeological dig, so we keep opening boxes. And we're like, oh shit, those are all Moto Guzzi V7 chin fairings, brand new, Mid-Ohio, and it will be impossible to do this booth without it being carnage of just the highest order. Like pricing this shit is going to be out of control.
I still say you're right.
Yeah.
I still say the tarp idea is the best.
The tarp, each, like a blue tarp is $20. Anything on the silver tarp is $40. Anything on the brown tarp is free. And anytime you buy something off the blue tarp, you have to take 2 things off the brown tarp.
Yeah.
But
The punishment tarp.
I guess you don't care because you're moving shit. But you know, motherfuckers gonna be throwing shit from one tarp to another. Like, oh, there's free tarp over there. I don't know.
You know what? And I'll have,
Ooh,
and
you
you know
got
what?
me.
And I'll make sure whoever's sitting there has a BB gun.
Yeah.
You're fucking.
You know, Becky has volunteered for this job.
I know, but she
And
seems
if you
to think
give her a paintball gun,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Last year, Barber, my buddy Raniel, who has a V7 and will be at Mid-Ohio.
Oh, there you go. Tell him to come and find me up.
He'll be
We have chin fairings.
chin strap ready. But he did a tarp with you have to buy everything on the tarp, and he put like a couple good things in there.
Oh fuck you.
Oh, yeah?
And
Really?
it makes people so mad.
It does.
Like it was like, you know, guys could be like, I just did this, and it'd be like, just
Nope.
buy it all, and it's
Nope.
like $150. Like
Oh, yeah.
there was like it was filled with good stuff, and he like put a couple really good things on top.
Yeah, that's cool.
And people get so mad.
Oh, I'm sure they
and
do.
then like there was a couple guys. There was something that was
that's
worth.
the kind of evil I like.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's
If you
brilliant.
just want to piss people off, especially old guys. It is it. It's the way
I love
to do
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fucking great.
Gotta take it all.
Gotta take it all.
Yeah.
So I need that tail light. Bring the trailer.
Yeah.
Bring the trailer. You're asking $150 for everything on the tarp. I need that trailer. I'll give you $100. 50 more and you'll have it.
Nope.
Yeah. 50 more and all this can be yours.
Or you give them the option. All right, okay. It's $150 if
Right.
you take the tarp,
Right.
or $300 for just the part.
That well, yeah,
Well, what if I give you 150 and just take the part I want?
right. No, that's the point.
yeah.
No. I love that.
Shit.
You gotta-
No, I'm telling you, that is the move because
You have to move it
Yeah.
at least 10 feet away from the booth.
It's
You can do whatever the hell you want with it as long as you're outside of the booth.
pure entertainment value, though. It is just
Oh,
worth
yeah.
it. 'Cause people
Oh,
get
yeah.
so mad.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
oh, we straight up have people negotiate with us, and they'll negotiate, and I'll be like, no. But then somebody will come up who's just fucking cool as shit, and I'll be like, yes, I'll sell it to you for $75, and the guy's like, you fucker, and I was like, yeah, because you're a cock. I don't want you to have it. I want him to have it. And the one guy, we were selling a running scooter for $50.
Yeah. Well, no, I was doing my ride, last running scooter.
Yeah.
Not going to try to take it home. Just ride it around like, hey, you want this? $300. I
Right.
mean, it's a fucking running Vespa.
Right.
Vespa 50, but it's
Right.
running and rideable.
Right.
No title, whatever. $300. You can use it to go get your mail or whatever,
Right. Oh, yeah.
Then some cocksmoker came up and was like, oh, and they were whinging. And Phil came up and just was like, it's $300. You're going to try to talk him down? I mean, he's running. You're running. You don't want to, like, it's not worth his time. If you don't want to pay $300 full fare.
I told him, I said, he's talked to you too long already. John, shame on you. He was nice to you. You're a fuck knuckle. Get the hell out of here. And then the other guy was like, what do you mean? I went and bought a battery for it, for like a $50 bike. And he went and bought the battery, and he came back and he's like, so now I got a battery for it. Will you sell it to me for $50? I said, no, I just sold it to that guy over there for $25, but he's a podcast member, so I gave him his money back. So he gets a rebate. He gets a discount. And the guy was so furious. He was steaming. He's like, I bought a battery for it. And I was like, why did you do that?
So as a
We
reminder,
kickstarted it 200 times in front of you. It ran great.
as a reminder, you get better deals if you tell us you listen to our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Boy, ain't that the truth? Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah, that currency works well. But I think I could have a whole tarp full of just Moto Guzzi V7 takeoff exhausts. Like, there's some things I have way too many of. Also,
Well, Renee and I were looking at the tires today.
the tires are a little disturbing. I've probably got $10,000 worth of new tires that are 10 plus years old.
Yeah.
So, pays your money, it takes your chances. They've been stored indoors.
Oh yeah, no, they're properly stored.
They're fine. And if you don't mind a tire that's got a nice mahogany flavor to it, you're probably going to be okay, right?
Got any 8x4s?
No, 8x4s. No. We call those 4x8s.
Yeah.
4x8. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a tough one. You got to talk to the Cushman assholes for that, or go to Tractor Supply. Yeah.
No, we don't.
They're out there.
We don't sport Tractor Supply anymore.
No, they're out there. 4x8s are out there. They're fine. Yeah, they're fine. That's not the hard thing. Do you have anything that you want to buy at AMA Vintage Days?
Oh, man. Yeah, a rear head for a 1975 Ducati round case. I have two that have. One is completely cracked beyond repair, and
Right.
the other one is slightly cracked beyond repair.
Yep.
And they're unobtainium.
Oh, they're unobtainium.
So
Yeah.
Why is it that they are cracked? What happens to them? I mean, is it a common failure or something?
So the two that I have, it's a brass valve seat and something with the way they. I don't know if it's too tight tolerances in the head when they put that brass valve seat in from the factory,
Yeah.
but it cracks from the seat to right to the out towards the exhaust.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah,
happens to
it
them.
just happens.
Oh, like somebody miscalculated the tolerances or expansion.
Yeah, and it just gets too tight, and I think it just starts pushing it. But
Right.
I have two, and I have two motors that need rear heads, and one I'm going to send a Millennium and get them to do it.
Oh, they
Okay.
can repair them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Good
the other
idea.
one is just gonzo.
No, not happening.
Yeah.
Was that just the GT
No, Sport.
Sport? Okay.
The same head except for the SS that's got Desmo is the same head, just got lower holes for lifters.
For the lifters,
But,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, yeah, what did that appear on? And now all of them, which explains the massive demand.
750.
So nobody makes nobody's machined one or built it.
So yeah, there's a dude in Australia that was getting some cash, but it's like more like $2,500 without valves or without valves or anything.
And so, which bike do you have? Do you have the Sport?
I I got a bunch of
Oh,
them.
you got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
That's your jam.
I have 6 round cases.
You do?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I have.
Oh, cool! I found a sucker for my Kajiba.
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
It's
Is it
the Alzera.
Elf?
It's an
Oh.
Alzera.
Ooh, really?
Is it out there? We'll show it later.
garage.
Tight.
It's on the garage.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. I
Did you go
like.
to the Triumph shop the other day? They got a
Oh,
Kajiva
no, I
in the
didn't.
showroom. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ray's got a Kajiva in there.
Yeah, I love them. I got all the tools, Bellow Drive stuff. I don't know. Just one of those things I got into, and I'm like I don't know. There's
Don't
not
ever
that many
do that.
people that do it. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's-
this sucks so much.
You
and I hate
became the
doing
guy.
it. But
Yeah.
I had a call today from a guy that has a bike in Atlanta, and he was like, "Oh, whenever you get back, can I just come and drop it off?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not a mechanic. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not a professional mechanic
I know.
anymore." And he was just like, "Can I just drop it off?" And I was like, "You can, but I don't know what I'm going to look at it."
Dude, be careful. I tell you, you got to be careful what you're going to tell people. I have a bike that I worked. It's been in my garage now for a year and a half. Somebody dropped it off. Never came and got it. I'm just like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And what do I do now?
Yeah,
That's
Right?
That's weird.
Does
People
it have
drop
good
bikes
heads
off
that
all
you
the
can-
time.
I know exactly. I was like, yeah, the rear end on this is bad though, and I know it looks clean, but it's bad. Yeah.
Sorry, you need a new head. I don't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a minute and a half where I'd signed. Well, I didn't even sign. The guy was like, "Hey, can I send a guy over to your shop? He's a great guy. You're gonna love him."
Is that how you met Chris Smith?
I just need you to. I'm gonna send you guys over the parts. I just need you to change. I just need you to change the wheels on this guy's Ural,
Oh.
and we'll pay you. And I went, "Yeah, what the hell? We're slow. It's wintertime. Send him by. Send me the wheels first. Send me the bearings. Send me the stuff I need. We'll take care of it." So guy shows up because on a lot of years of Urals, round wheels were like not an option.
Yep.
Right. That was just kind of the way they were. They kind of were a kind of situation. And so Ural was like selling bikes to people that didn't have dealers within 700, 900 miles. That's not uncommon. And so I was like, I'll do it. You'll pay me. I'll take the money. That's great. We're slow. And I made that mistake. And so because I agreed, and I probably made $250 on this whole relationship for 3 wheels, I became the guy.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yep.
And I just had to start telling people, no. But I heard you did this. Prove it.
Yeah, become a Royal Enfield dealer.
Oh,
and then,
man.
and then every old fucking shitty
I was-
Enfield. That's
The second I became a Royal Enfield dealer, I put a sign up that said, "Nothing pre-unit.
Yep.
Go away. You don't exist to me.
Yep.
Go the fuck away." And you know what happened? They didn't go away. They all just kept showing up. And I was like, fuck.
We made that mistake, and I think I've worked on about 10 Urals now because I was the Ural guy in Louisiana.
Terrible.
And
Worst
every
place to
single
be.
one of them, the fucking clutch stuck. You
Yes.
take the whole
Also
damn
true.
thing apart.
Yeah. Also true.
Oh God, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah. It's just, that's what happens.
Yep.
My dad bought a Deepner.
Deepner.
A pre-Ural, I guess.
Different company, same thing.
Gotcha.
Different river.
different mountain.
Different mountain.
Different mountain.
An extreme piece of shit.
Yep.
Oh my god.
It's like the Chang Shang, but worse.
Yeah, it is so bad. And he was ordering so many parts from Russia. I'm sure he's on a list now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like all these weird carburetors. It was like he's like they're only like $25. It's like it's still not gonna run right. Dad.
You're right. You're exactly right. Yeah.
They were bad from the factory when they put them on there. They're not going to be any better after.
Yeah.
But he asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, "Fuck no!" It's like you cannot give that to me.
We had a guy in Cleveland called Yuri, and of course, he's called Yuri. And in Yuri's warehouse in Cleveland, you'd go in there, and if you were, a sidecar fetishist or whatever, and this is long about 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, you'd go in there and you'd meet Yuri, and he's something, and then you could be like, okay, well, I need a sidecar for this R75 I'm doing. You don't need fucking sidecar for an R75. You need Ural.
Yep.
And he wasn't a Ural dealer, but he was Russian. So he had 16 or 18 crates. And some of the crates said Ural, some of the crates said Neepner.
And some of them said AK-47.
No, some of them said CJ. And I was like, you have CJ in the crates over here. You have Chinese motorcycles in the crates over there. Yeah, but they're fucking garbage. And I was like, you're saying they're garbage. The guy who has like 4 Neepners over here that straight up will never fire a shot in anger, and you're telling me how garbage the CJs are. And he goes, you want them, I give them to you $1,500 a piece. Just take them the way they are. And I was like, no. It's
No, it's okay.
if I'm going to get herpes, I'm going to get it for free. I'm going to get it for fun. And so we joked. And then, no shit, were you working at the shop when that goddamn CJ pulled up? The black one?
I don't remember it.
This dude is like, I collect movie props and I collect all this bullshit. And I was like, what? And he goes, this bike was used in some war movie, right? And I'm like, no, it wasn't. That bike came out of a crate 6 weeks ago. Like, it still has the Cosmoline on it and shit. It's. Well, they said it just needs the carb clean and everything else, but it was a movie prop and whatever. I was like, no, I was in the room with that bike when it was in a crate several weeks ago. It's not been a movie prop. Did you buy it out of a warehouse in Cleveland from a Russian guy? I did. Yes.
You know Yuri?
Did you pay $1,500 for it? I did not. What did you pay for it? I paid $4,500 from it for it. And I went, Yuri figured you out. Yuri decided to quit going here and decided to go here. And he found his audience.
Boris the sneaky fucking Russian.
Boris, you sneaky fucking Russian. And that's what it was. And the guy brought it by the shop, and we threw a fucking Hail Mary at it.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it running. And I was like, it's running. This is the greatest thing ever. And I rode it around the neighborhood. I chang-janged around the neighborhood. And I chang-janged around the neighborhood one time, and I brought it back. I called the guy, and I was like, we're not bringing it in. It sleeps outside. If you don't come and get it, I'm pretty sure the Jawas are going to take it.
Yep.
So you better come and get it. And the dude was like, no, I'll be right there right quick. We charged him a couple of $300. Off he fucked. Went back to his little suburban mansion in Rocky River. We never saw him again. Just like he got raptured up or something. He just, him and the bike, gone. Nothing.
That's the best way, though.
If he would have seen it again, I would have said, you can't prove I worked on it. Yeah.
So I do have a movie prop sidecar. Well, movie prop adjacent. It wasn't actually used in the movie, but it was when they bought for it. And then they bought a bunch of a Velarex sidecar for Bad Boys 3.
A Velarex sidecar for Bad Boys 3?
In the movie, they had one with like a like some type of rotary gun in it, and
like
it
a
was
minigun.
Yeah, a minigun.
Oh.
And they bought like 3 sidecars, and my buddy like had one. He was a picture cars guy, and he had it left over, and he's like, "Do you want this thing for like $500?" And I was like, "I guess so." I hate riding with a sidecar on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's still under tarp in my backyard. But
it is.
But it is from Bad Boys 3.
It is from Bad Boys 3. So it has a
For Life is what it's called.
So it has like a TOE in it for a minigun? Like somebody
No, it's
put
just
a
a
bracket
regular
in
Velarex
it? Oh, it's
sidecar. It's just
Velarex
one they
sidecar.
bought for it, and they decided not to.
They
use
never
it.
did shit with it. That's funny. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
If you are fucked up, if you're a fucked up person who likes to just waste time and just be
Welcome to the podcast.
And just be like, yeah, I did something stupid the other night. You're going to watch a movie that I have forced several people to watch, and you shouldn't be left out. It's pretty amazing. The movie is called The Pink Angels, and The Pink Angels is a 1972 biker exploitation film featuring Grizzly Adams, by the way.
Ooh, nice.
So that's pretty rad.
Oh, yeah.
And the cast is just amazing. But these fellas, you'll notice they are all on what? Neepners and CJs.
Oh, my God.
Right? So this motorcycle gang called the Pink Angels, far less homoerotic than the Bike Riders movie that we just saw.
Oh, yeah.
That's special. But I'm only leaning into it a little bit when I tell you it is hard to get through the whole movie, the Pink Angels, but they are a group of transvestite, homosexual, motorcycle enthusiasts having trouble with law enforcement, riding their fake World War II surplus, fake German motorcycles across the country. And I promise you, it is a delight if you want to really, really feel like I need a palate cleanser after Bike Riders, or maybe Harley Davidson the Marlboro Man, or maybe like what's the movie Stone Cold. There's a lot of biker movies, or Wild Hogs.
You know, Road Warrior with the assless chaps is probably less.
Again,
Yeah.
the backstory there has got to be good. If we're gonna do a deep dive on that, I want to know that character's backstory.
What do you think the percentage of motorcycle movies out there that everybody in it has no eye protection?
Oh yeah. Well, this is it.
They're all doing 70.
And this is my
and I'm
favorite
like,
thing.
The safety squint.
Yeah.
The safety squints. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, okay, guys, we're going to get you in these motorcycles. I'm going to have you go down the road here. You're going to go past the camera truck. That's cool. And I need you to look super cool. And they're like, okay, great. No, you got to get the sunglasses off. That'll reflect the cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I need you to ride past the thing. And they're like, they do it one time, and they're like, we can't do this. Yeah. And you end up looking like that.
Yeah. Every movie, though, every scene has always got some dude like cruising for the chick with the moonlight behind him with no fucking glasses on, no eye protection, with their eyes not watering. You've all lost a pair of glasses and you're driving home and you can't see shit. You're
I'll just buy a car. I mean, seriously. I ride with no helmet on all the time. You see me.
I know,
I'm a
you're
bad
terrible.
example for my customers. I'm that guy going 90 miles an hour down the freeway with no helmet on. But if I lose my spectaculars for like a second, I'm going to be back alley Sally the whole way home at like 25, right? I'm going to be trying to find a way to get home without without lenses.
It's just weird. Like nobody in all of the productions, like, nobody really rides like that. Even the scumbags don't really ride like that.
Nobody ever.
Right.
Like, nobody ever. You can't ride 25 miles an hour without eye protection on
Right.
anywhere, right? I don't care who you are, unless you're a lizard person.
I used
Right?
to quite a bit when I was like 17 on, a dirt bike on back roads and flying along. Oh my God, I can't see.
Oh, yeah. Fucking A, man. No, I've been just... If we're doing a thing, if we're just going to there's going to be a naked ride. Cool, there's going to be a naked ride. I'm grabbing my glasses. Right? I will be naked with glasses on.
My eyelids are peeling back.
Yeah, fuck that. That is impossible.
I have always said I will never get LASIK because I will not wear safety. I will not have these anymore, which are safety glasses.
Right, yeah.
They're
They're antsy.
Is what they are.
Right, yeah, I get it.
They're rated.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, when are you going to get the LASIKs? I'm like, I'm not. Fuck that. Because
No.
I'm going to end up getting metal shavings and fucking bees and shit in my
I
eyes.
can only get the LASIK when I'm literally 10 years away from dying because
gonna have to see
Renee
that.
got the LASIK and 10 years later she's wearing glasses again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I understand how that works. Yeah.
My wife's the same way.
Oh, yeah?
But Tom, I'm gonna have to see that documentation.
What's that?
You said you were licensed.
License?
Oh, no, LASIK.
LASIK.
How do you know when your
LASIK.
10 years starts?
What's that?
How do you know when you can tell?
I got a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good idea. There's certain 55
I
years
feel
old
like
now.
I can start right now.
Yeah, there's 55-year-old system
Well,
right
now
now.
they've got you on the diet, man. That's part of this getting you straightened out.
Oh, the guy that came into my shop yesterday and bought a bike was 82 years old.
Yep.
And his name is Chang Lee. I'm going to let you fill in the blanks. It was awesome. 82 years old. And I said, man, that's fantastic. How many motorcycles have you had? He goes, this is the first.
Holy shit.
And he's 82 years old.
Holy shit.
He's 82 years old. And I was like, this is amazing.
Hell yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want to fuck with your thing, man. I love where you're going. This energy is great. It's going to earn me some money. But come over here and sit on this thing. Because he'd been there in the shop for about 2 hours. And I realized the only thing we hadn't done is consummate the deal, right? And I was like, okay. Well, nobody's ever bought a bike in my shop without sitting on it first. Get your ass over here and sit on this bike. And then we realized that Chang Lee had his ankles shot off in Korea. Yeah, Cotton. Cotton Hill
Cotton
was
Hill.
not
Cotton Hill.
a tall fella. Chang Lee was a little short in the inseam. His pants were Levi Stubbs. He was wearing jorts, but they were all the way to the bottom for him. And he threw his leg over the bike, and I was like, oh, because I spot everybody. I don't take anybody's word for it.
Yeah.
And I was spotting him, and I was like, just his feet were just dangling in the air. And I went, so how many bikes have you ridden? Like, how many motorcycles have you owned? And this is my first one. And I went, fuck. So I said, have you heard of Corbin? Oh, what do you mean? So I went and grabbed a Corbin, and I brought the Corbin out, And I showed him the Corbin, and he's like, "Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool." And I went, "Good, because that's the lowest seat that exists for this." And then I was like, "Okay." And we have a lowering kit that'll pull another 1.5 inches out of the suspension, so we're looking pretty good. So once I felt like he was kind of in control of things, then I went behind him and I installed what we call the ClevelandMoto lowering kit simulator, which is where I push really hard on the back of the motorcycle and make it shorter. And we got 1 foot down. Nice. And I was like, "You're looking pretty good there. You're looking pretty good." And he goes, "Oh yeah, this is what I want." So I went the lowering kit. I want the Corbin seat. And I called Mike Corbin and I was like, "Hey, I need a saddle for, GTS, and I need it to be this and that." And he's like, "Yeah, cool. We can do all that." And I said, "I need it to be color matched for that." "Oh yeah, we can do that. That's great." And I said, "What's the lowest seat you've ever made? Have you ever worked in the negatives?" And he's like, "Yeah, fucking, you're real funny, man." He goes, "No, the seat you got at the shop is the lowest seat that exists for that bike." And I went, "Yeah, I just was checking." And he goes, "How short is he?" I'm like, "Real short." And I'm like, "He might be 5'6", but not below his...
It's all torso.
Yeah, but not below his belt buckle, And I'm like...
He looks like String Bean from Hee Haw.
Yeah, he's short.
Being Aikman.
Right. Yeah, he's got some trouble there. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, Renee goes, "Are you going to do it?" And I said, "I'm going to go back and have another interview." So I'm going to go back and interview him real quick. And I want to make sure he's fully committed to this idea. So I said, the Corbin seats aren't cheap. And they're harder than your arithmetic. So we need to make sure you really, really mean this. And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "So here's the Corbin." And I simulated it. Sit on it. Make sure you're cool with this, because it's not fluffy, comfy seat. Corbins are hard.
Yep.
And he was cool with it. And I was like, "Great." And I was like, "So lowering kit, Corbin, you're good?" "I'm good." "You're 100%. You're good." We're about to get to the point in the conversation where I say no backsies, because I'm ordering stuff from California. And he did. He was like, "I'm in. I'm there." And he did. And I was like, "That's cool, man." And I think he's going to have a great time. But I would not have guessed him at 82 when he showed up, because he's like spry. He's cool. And I was like, "That's all right. 82 years old."
That gives me hope, man.
It does give me hope,
You
because
know?
we got a guy named Roy McKinney that's got 79,000 miles or something on his BV350. Damn. And I'm like, "Good man. Well done." Because like the day he retired, he's like, "I'm not sitting still. I'm going places."
Well, that's like that Tony guy.
And he's never stopped moving. Salties?
Yeah.
Yeah, Silent
that,
P?
That dude put
Yeah.
some miles on his bike.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are guys that are like, "I'm retiring tomorrow and I never want to see my wife ever again."
So I sold this bike to a guy 2 years ago, a Ducati 860. Mm-hmm. And great guy. He's retired now. He's a retired diesel mechanic. And I started talking to him about, what's going on. He was like, "Oh, man, I can't wait to work on this thing in the winter." He's in Wisconsin somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "It's cold as hell." He's like, "My wife, she has dementia. She, she's in the house. I'm just going to work on it in the house. She doesn't know, she'll see the bike in the,
She
the
has
living
no
room.
idea
But
it's
no
not
idea.
supposed to be here. Yep.
And he told me, he was like, after I retired, I just put her in a home for a month, and he rode to Alaska, put his wife in a home, rode to Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
Came back, came back. I brought her home afterwards. It's been great. But yeah, he just puts his wife in a home for a month and goes off and comes back like, Jesus Christ. But, he takes care of her.
Oh, no, that's
He
great.
loves her.
I have no problem with
like,
any of that.
Oh, my God.
And that was nice that he said put her in a home, because
Yeah.
I was like, hooked her up with another guy.
Yeah.
Like, just told her, "You've been married to this guy for at least 7 or 8 years. That's fine. You live with him now."
Yeah, but he works in the bike on the house. He's rebuilding the motor. He's sending me pictures like in his living room.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, just rebuilding it." He's like, she comes by and goes, "Is that a motorcycle?" I go, "Yeah."
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I didn't realize that was dementia when my wife let me restore a 1962 Lambretta on the dining room table in our upstairs apartment in the Heights. And we were straight up doing body work and paint in the shower. So, we're wet sanding and shit in the shower. We're spraying stuff on the back patio and bringing it in. My landlord comes up and I've got this bike on the dining room table, just the rolling chassis sitting there. And he goes, "When I can smell it, you're out of here." And I was like, "Don't sweat it. You're fine." And he didn't know we were using the oven as a fucking powder coater. And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I did discover that a dishwasher does clean motorcycle parts remarkably well. It's fantastic how good a dishwasher works.
And a lot of the things that your
parts
wife
from
tells
1962.
you, like the things that your wife's like, you can't do that, it'll break to this or that.
No, it will not
works
break
fine.
it. It works fine.
Yeah.
It works great.
Bringing
It's
us
almost
down,
like it
man.
was meant to do
I
it.
know.
Yeah. I used to do my guns in the dishwasher too, and it was serviceable.
I kind of feel bad that I left when I left.
Yeah.
I left behind a really nice metal stainless steel tub dishwasher.
Yeah.
I'd scavenged and fixed because it had like half a chopstick in the
Right.
thing. And I used to use it as a parts washer.
Yeah, why not?
It literally was because they're the best parts washers ever.
Yeah.
You can buy a cheap dishwasher for $300.
Absolutely.
And it's the best. It is the best
Yeah.
parts washer you're ever gonna find.
Yeah, our powder coater was a garbage picked gas oven that
Exactly.
was perfect. Did the job admirably for years.
No, I gotta have like a $1,300.
You don't
parts
need any of that
washer.
shit.
No.
Oh no, the one that Colin got $6,000, $7,000,
yeah.
and it's got like the rotating trees inside, and I was like, that's a dishwasher. No, it's a parts washer.
Nope.
Uses baking soda and shit. I was like, it's a dishwasher.
It's a dishwasher.
It's totally a dishwasher. You can't fool me. Yeah.
Cascade-
Can't fool
Cascade
me at
all the way.
Same stuff, different
Because
job.
you could literally just plumb the dishwasher to reuse the same juice.
Yeah.
They put a holding tank and just have it plumb back into it.
or
So-
not.
Or not.
Oh, okay. Dump a bunch of
Hot
shit.
water. Hot water's hot water.
You
And
put it. I mean, if you want to be super cool, run it out into like a big old cat pan bucket, right?
I thought, man, if you wanted to use like a solvent or something, not like a hard solvent.
Oh
but
yeah,
like
yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
you
Recycle your stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
Simple Green or something.
Right,
Just keep
that-
running.
that's what I was saying.
Dawn
Yeah.
dishwater.
Yeah, that
dish
stuff's all
liquid.
biodegradable,
Oh,
right?
sorry.
Right.
Yeah, Dan,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
your Dan? Do it
Sorry.
again, Dan.
Yeah, say it again. 'cause you
That
got
stuff's
up.
all biodegradable, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The bubble gum
yeah.
that comes off an Italian motor from the '60s. I'm sure that's all biodegradable.
But like, Simple Green is not like $2 anymore, man. That shit's like
Yeah.
$20
Oh,
a
yeah.
bag, dude.
Mean green is what I've converted to, and it works better in ultrasonic.
It does.
Yeah, mean green, it's way cheaper.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, good to know.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's like it used to be like $3 for like the same size jug as a simple green.
Tom and I discovered that no matter how much money you spend on a commercially available regulation ultrasonic, especially if you want a big one, like it'll take a rack of carbs. So you want a good size ultrasonic, like 6 gallons, 7 gallons, like a big one, a fairly decent sized one, that you cannot have vibrations and heat at the same time for very long.
Yeah.
The circuits inside will fail.
Yeah.
So now we've decided, after returning one and having an unpleasant experience with it, that you can buy a, let's just say, agricultural rated immersion heater, which looks like a big sex toy with a big strong cord on it, and you can program that to any temperature you want. It's got a little button on it, and then drop that sucker into your ultrasonic, and now the heat element of the ultrasonic, which was shit to begin with, is now completely out of work, completely unemployed. The immersion heaters that keep giant vats of water from freezing so your cows can drink, those don't fuck around. And we use one at my house for fluid filming in the wintertime,
That thing's sick.
and it doesn't have a regulator on it. It's just plug it in and dump it in the 5-gallon bucket.
1,500 watts of heat.
And then stand back because it's going to be molten lava in about
Like,
2 minutes.
It makes the most gross sex noises.
It does make
You're
a
next
really.
to it, it's just like
It does, and you're like
Oh.
big 5-gallon tub of fluid film,
Yeah,
which is
just
basically
gurgling.
industrial chocolate pudding
Yeah.
made out of sheep. And you put that thing in there, and for the first 20 minutes of turning it from a solid into a liquid,
It's
the
so-
noises it makes are just vile.
and then it smells oddly like chicken for some
It
reason.
smells. It
Like
smells
French
like
fries or
old
stuff.
fried chicken,
Yeah,
or freshly hit sheep.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the two. But God, it's good under your car, isn't it?
It is good.
It does keep the shit from rusting. So
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's
Oh, you
something- I
haven't?
don't. Yeah, the fluid film.
fluid film.
You're from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
I need
have-
that.
You know, you need to be up here.
Yeah.
So if you buy a Toyota in Cleveland, you get 5 years until it's vapor.
I've seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
Up to the door handles. But if you buy fluid film, which is, a couple $100 for a 5-gallon bucket, and then you heat it and shoot it through a 1,500 PSI airless, you'll get this coating on your car that is anaerobic and it's magic. Salt won't stick to it. Nothing sticks to it. You have to warn your mechanic if you go in there. You're like, hey, by the way, before you take my exhaust or do whatever you're doing or steal my catalytic converter, I have to warn you the bottom of my car is covered in fluid film. Because the mechanics are going to be like, dude, you got an oil pan gasket or whatever. You got 7 gallons of oil on the back of your car. I'm like, no, that's lanolin.
And so you know what's really fun.
And fluid film is cheap. It's lanolin.
Oh, you get a truck that's a pile of shit and you're working on it, but then you're like, I want to make sure it doesn't rust anymore. So then you take it to Phil's house and you fluid film the
So I got a lift in my garage, and we got it all set up.
And then I realized, oh wait, I really haven't finished working on it. So then it was like I had to replace the motor and the drive shafts and every possible fucking thing that we just shot like a half inch of goo all over.
And it's easier. It is easier to consort with a greased pig early in the morning hours than it is to carry any item that has fluid film on it.
Yes.
So like if you're saying I'm going to drop this transmission but it's covered in fluid film, no. Don't even attempt it. Prepare for the point of impact. Just get clear, loosen the bolt, let it drop. Because the second you're like, no, I got this, you can't get that. There's no way.
You know what's crazy about this product is that it was completely it was a byproduct. When they squeezed the fucking wool, it was all the oil and juice that came out of the wool. Yeah. So it used to be a waste, and they used to try to get rid of it. And this company figured out that they could take it and just shoot it on cars.
So, Slippy, are vegans allowed to use that product?
My wife's not really happy about it.
No, I don't think the sheep die in the process. I think the sheep are still fine.
It's just shearing. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
believe me.
They're not cool with that. Trust me.
No, it's just if you try to take the lanolin off the sheep while the wool's still on the sheep, you got a problem.
Hey, man.
But if the wool's off the sheep...
Nope, you can't even take the wool off the sheep.
damn.
I'm pretty sure
the vegans don't like chili sheep.
This is the whole you can't use honey because the bees
How come the
actually
only
put the
vegan
work
here
into
is not saying anything and everybody's fucking man?
I want to know.
I'm just saying, I don't really give a shit.
That's right.
I mean, I don't give a shit.
I can tell you,
I do the best I can
I'm
for
an
me and
opportunivore,
whatever,
so I don't care.
Yeah.
Back to the cleaning utensils.
Yeah.
Vapor hone. Are you guys on the vapor hone train?
Yeah, I want to tip my toe in.
I bought one last year.
You did buy one?
Holy shit.
Best thing ever?
Oh my God. It's like the most satisfying thing in the world. I have one in my basement shop. So, like my wife goes to bed, my kid goes to bed, and then I just go downstairs and just like look at things to vapor hone.
You do?
It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
And it does such a good job.
Explain to our listeners and
I'm gonna pull one up so you can see
vapor
it.
hone is.
So it uses a slurry of an abrasive, usually a fine glass bead, water and air pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And VHT, that's what I have. Yep. And I actually I had an issue with my first one, and I complained enough that I sent it back, and then I went and picked up another one, but they're in South Carolina, not too far from, or North Carolina, not too far from where I live. But, man, it's amazing. And it does such a good job.
So it's vapor blasting.
Vapor blasting,
okay.
yeah. So it's, a compressed slurry of water gets shot on it. And you can do baking soda, but it doesn't last very long.
The baking soda has I have a baking soda blaster in my garage at the house, and it's like you go one time, you get one go, and then you're kind of it takes a long time.
Yeah,
well, depends. So like I just was shooting a video on this for Summit, and so you have to mix it 9-1. So if you mix it or 8-2, maybe at the max. So you use like 8 parts soda or something fine, like a really fine glass. And then 2 parts of like a slightly good abrasive thing. Dude, we were shooting like this rear end of a Ford, and it was just like you're saying, man. It was like when you see those like pressure washing videos. It was just like,
yeah,
it was awesome.
It's coming out fast and furious.
Yeah. Unfortunately, put like 3 lens protectors on the camera because that shit got on it.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah,
because I used to shoot aluminum silicate in my garage because you can pass it several times. You can run that shit forever, and it's not as bad as Black Beauty and the coal slag and all that shit.
Well, you're
filthy.
doing vapor blasting though. It's water, so you don't get as much. It's not as dirty. I mean,
nothing. You can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It has a mister that, like, if you let off the throttle or with your foot, it sprays a screen of water.
Oh, it does?
And cleans it off.
No way.
It's so amazing because you get
Which one do you have?
fucking Weekend Warrior. I hate the name so bad.
I don't care.
But the Weekend Warrior has a lifetime warranty, and it's a plastic cabinet, and it dampens the noise better than a metal cabinet.
Yeah.
And it fits in my basement. But I can fit a whole engine case. You know, I do
there, no problem.
mainly Ducati shit, so
Yeah.
it's, you know, I can fit a Bevel 2900 motor in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's an American product.
It's great.
Yeah. That's cool. That's fantastic. And I love the
And
fact
shit
that
comes out looking brand new.
Like brand new.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just bright aluminum finish. And then
Do you ever do you do a coating on them after that, or just leave them?
so usually I will blast the hell out of them with the pressure washer after, because a lot of the stuff is Italian that I work on and it's so porous
Yeah.
that like
Put a coating. You don't like do it.
I'll put just
Clear coat
oil
'em or
on it.
something?
No, I just leave
Okay.
them raw generally.
Once you get it there, you just gonna leave it like that. Keep it like a
Is
brand
there
new
like a
casting.
maintenance? Is there do you have to keep oiling it then or something to keep it?
Not really. I mean, because most of the stuff that I do is like, I don't know, it doesn't see much weather. If it does, I'm like, you know, oh my god, and I have,
Right.
you know,
You're not riding through salt in Atlanta.
no, not at all.
No. Yeah, it's weird, man. To understand. So we had at Summit, we had like the head of Chevy or something like that for this thing, and like he came into the studio where we were shooting. We weren't expecting him to come in. We're kind of taken back, like, whoa, this dude's here. And he comes in, he goes, hey guys, I always like to talk to the guys working. He's like, I want an honest question, any question you want. So I was like, all right, how come you can't make a pickup truck where the back wheel wells don't rust out in like 2 years? He goes, we do. He goes, you just live in Ohio. There's only 2 places in the country that have this problem, and I'm sorry, we're not making trucks for you. It's like, oh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's
sorry
a
about
great
that.
answer.
So I just put my tail underneath my leg.
Yes.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Where's the second place? I wonder. Detroit.
Yeah, in Michigan and
Michigan and,
Ohio.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Rust Belt.
Yeah, you guys like the mid. I guess up north you don't have to worry about it as much because it's all.
Well, it depends if they use salt or not. So
Yeah.
it's like we use salt because it's free because we have Lake Erie with a giant salt mine underneath it, so they can get that. But better than that, here's something interesting for you to know. Fracking was taking the byproduct, the top skimming stuff, the most toxic part of the fracking juice. They were bottling it, and the city of Cleveland bought it as snow melt. And so they were spraying our city streets with literally radioactive waste.
I wish that was the whole story, but
Does it get worse?
General Motors had actually provided the liquid containment systems to put in the back of the plow trucks in Cleveland, and then also the spraying equipment and the juice, because it was a far more efficient way to make the cars rust out. And so then when they tested the road surfaces in Cleveland with a Geiger counter, we had radioactive roads in Cleveland because the fracking juice was all hot. It was spicy. That's not great. So not only are your cars rusting because the frack juice can go places salt can't go, and it's more caustic, but now you have a radiological component to it as well. A great idea with the best of intentions. What could possibly go wrong? And there we are. It kills me because that's my whole world is fighting rust, right? And I have old cars and everything else. But the fluid film tip, 2008 Ford F-150, hundreds of thousands of miles is in front of my shop right now, and you can crawl underneath it, and there is not a molecule of rust on it. Because every November that thing goes up on the lift, and we hit it with the fluid film. And yeah, it smells funny, and you know, the garage gets slippery. Like
But
it's
you
fun.
know what? You know you've been doing it for a long time because when you get there,
Yeah.
it's like a factory.
Yeah.
Like everybody's been there so many times.
When you
everybody
come to
knows what
fluid
do.
film party at my house, where's the whole system?
You hand Renee the gun, and
Yeah.
she just goes.
And Renee does the detail. Like
Yeah.
Renee will do the detail gun. You met Renee at the shop.
Oh, yeah.
She'll do the crevice tool.
The crevice tool.
And then I'll
She's
do the
either
production.
stuffing her box or
Yep.
working with crevices.
Right, yeah. Renee, poor thing, man. Long-suffering Renee. They have to fucking deal with us schmucks. But it's true. And we do it. It's so much fun. And we'll get together. We'll do 6 or 7 cars. And we just turn the music on, turn the lights on. If it's hot, cold, we'll turn the heat on. But we shoot that shit. And you just kind of get into a rhythm. And then you don't even notice that your mouth tastes like sheep. And like your beard's never been so soft.
And you're like actually gliding.
You're
not
sliding.
walking anymore. You're just
like wear boots that you're like, these boots are garbage and we should have thrown them away 20 years ago. And then when you get home, you take your boots off, they're like they're new.
The best.
My boots are new and they don't leak anymore.
The first year, I didn't know how this shit bonds to human skin.
Oh, it's amazing.
So I wore just short sleeves.
He did, yeah.
And so I get home to take a shower.
He couldn't take a shower.
It looked like one of those like weird science videos where like the water would start here, but then nothing. Like it wouldn't. All the soap, Dawn, nothing helped. Nothing. It was just for 2 weeks I had like waterproof arms.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's a great thing for snowbacks to be like, oh, we finally found a product that we can keep our cars for more than 10 years. But it's true. Everybody, every car that I've had that I've done since I've been a fluid film enthusiast, and these guys, hillbillies, will show up at your house with like a car hauler, and they'll run like those little 3 shorty car haulers. They'll run a car up on there in your driveway, run your car up on there and fluid film right in your own fucking driveway, and then tell you that your driveway is now slicker than dog snot. Because you're like, first time you take a step out to get the mail and slide down the street. It's fun.
But if you do it right too, if you do it like before like it really snows,
right,
you can get a good buildup of dust on it, and then that seals it in, and then you're set. Like you're good for 2 years, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny because the van I only do like every other year because I don't use it in the wintertime very much. But then the stuff that I hammer on all winter, we hit that every November. And it's worth doing it. Yeah. This rig, what does the Weekend Warrior cost for the vape?
Oh man, it was $2,600.
Yeah.
And then what I didn't realize is that my compressor would not. You need like 20 CFM to run it.
Yes, that was my next question.
And
so you got to have a 2-stage.
Yeah, so I ended up buying a Polar Air, which is, great. It has a silent box, and it's like, I forget what the decibel level is, but I can have it in my basement and have like my kids sleeping upstairs and not wake up for a 60-gallon compressor, yeah. But it's 2-piston and has a gear reduction box on it. Yeah. So so it's not working as hard as it should. And it has this, tubes that go to this big intake box that really sucks the intake noise down.
That's pretty amazing.
And that was it wasn't that much more than an Ingersoll Rand. Right. And new Ingersoll Rand's rated for like 5,000 cycles or something like that. Yep. And the Polar Air is rated for like 50,000.
Right, that's the whole thing.
And and it has an Eaton compressor on it. And it was like, $300 more or something.
And it's a lifetime compressor. Yeah, that's it. You'll rebuild that as many times
and it's all U.S. made and, up here. But
our friend worked for Petrocan up in Ontario. And at one point, he's like, hey, I got to move. I'm selling my air compressor. And I said, well, we all have air compressors. In my shop, I got 6 air compressors at the shop. Tell me something I don't know. Like, excite me. And he goes, no, it's a V-twin 3-phase monster. Why do you have this in your house, Ian? Why do you have this in your condo? Like, he goes, well, no, I had to buy it for the gas station, and I had a budget that I had to spend, so I bought this, and no shit, it is a made in Canada. It still kills me that they make things in Canada like air compressors and shit like that. And I told him, I was like, how much do you want for it? He's like, get up here and get it. And it was brand new. And so I went up and I got it. It is what you expect. It's 6.5, 7 feet tall, and that's fine. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And I was taken across the border, and I got stopped because there's a compressor in the back of my truck that's obviously not upright and not functional part of the truck. And the guy at the border was like, "What's the deal with that?" I said, "I went up to my friend's house. He's moving. He's living in Brampton and he's got to move, so he gave me his compressor out of the garage." And the guy at customs, who's American, goes, "I don't know, that looks like a pretty good unit." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm hoping it is. I got to use it for my shop and stuff." And he goes, "What do you think that's worth?" And I said, "Well, it was free. I picked it up." And he goes, "But let's figure out what it's worth. What kind of a tariff? What kind of a duty you need to pay on that?" And I was like, "You're gonna Google my air compressor, aren't you? Like that kind of thing." And he's like, "Yeah, hang tight. Let's just be a minute." I was like, "You son of a bitch." And they did, and they came out, and they came back, and they're like, "Yeah, you owe us $86 duty on this thing to bring it into America." And I was like, I had food while I was up there too, I drank beer. That's coming home with me. You care about that? fucking so it was like hilarious. I had to pay a duty.
Yes, we do. How much did you?
I had to pay a duty on a fucking air compressor I paid no money for. I was like, all right, this is ridiculous, but hey, it keeps you from looking too deep in my truck. We don't need you finding any of the other stuff John left in there last time we had a party.
Right?
Yeah, fucking illegal fireworks out the ass and all kinds of shit. John's like, here, light this and throw it over there sometime when I'm gone. Okay, sounds like a great idea. Now everybody hates me. Can't go to that party ever again. But that compressor is a fun compressor, and I just love going by, seeing it every day. It says "Made in Canada" on it. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's not Harbor Freight. Yeah, that's solid. That makes me feel good. I'm like, and I just smell the waft of maple syrup and beaver pelts every time I walk by it. I'm like, that's a good compressor.
Does it run on syrup, like syrup oil?
Oh, we should. That's a good idea. We should put a Mrs. Butterworth thing down the side. Dude. Right. Yeah. It runs only on
Don't
90.
you dare put
Runs
Mrs. Butterworth in it. Pure Canadian maple syrup.
Canadian 90 weight
You
maple
fucking hoser.
syrup.
Dude, I just saw they have the gasoline juice stuff at Summit. It's like you get the smells to put in your gas.
Oh, they do?
The pina
I just
colada
saw
and
it.
the,
Oh, it's
yeah.
like iPhone.
But they have maple syrup now.
Oh, you need to bring some of that.
I know. You can put it in your oil. It's not going to hurt
Who's
it.
buying it?
Dude, drag racers, because you don't want to smell like the race gas all the time.
Oh,
The
the
two
two-stroke.
lanes.
We used to sell all the strawberry flavored iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were the last dealer in America that stocked it. And everybody would be like, I trained all my two-stroke operators. You put the iPhone in because when you can't smell the strawberries, you're not getting any lubrication.
The AD Crawford trick is you do patchouli oil
Yes.
on top of that.
On top of it.
Yeah, so your exhaust smells like patchouli.
Oh, man. That's your move.
I know.
You can have that.
That's
That's
the
yours.
fucking worst. Yeah.
See, this is what happens when you move to Oregon. You become a dirty fucking
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dirty fucking
yeah.
hippie.
Dirty
dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Hey, the iPhone was our go-to at the shop forever.
Oh, yeah, strawberry,
It's
yeah.
good oil, but it's also the scent factor. And like everybody's like, oh, you put it in the bike so that like your girlfriend's riding on the back of your two-stroke, she doesn't smell like a refinery. And I was like, no, I put it in the bike so I know when I'm getting the oil. Yeah. Right? Like I'm the guy who doesn't want to disconnect oil injectors. I'm the guy who's like, look, it was probably good enough, and when I'm at an idle 1%, when I'm hauling ass 3-4%, that's a good idea. Don't just throw 2% at it all the time and end up choking your plugs out. So I do trust an oil injector, but not so much that I won't run cherry scented oil or strawberry flavored oil.
When I was in the airplane industry
Yeah.
and things, we were at this big thing, this big event, and the dudes were doing the hovering
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
And so we're sitting there and I'm filming it, doing whatever, and like that was the first time like this dude puts the smoke on, so
Yeah.
the airplane's smoking, he's hovering, and bam, you get hit with this cherry. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You know? And then they hit me to the thing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I know Colin has it in Denver, and he's got it behind the thing, and he's got the weed scented oils and all that crap. I'm like, why would you want to give somebody probable cause?
I did that with hemp oil when on my plane. When I finally figured it out and had a smoke system, I
Right.
just had because my dude gave me a bunch of hemp oil.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want this fucking.
Right.
So we just put it through the smoke system.
There you
It
go.
just smelled like fucking weed flying everywhere.
Well, that's my
Great.
point.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to do that? You're already riding sketchy shit.
'Cause, I don't know.
Why do you want to be like, hey, cop, I'll bet you I don't have a title for this thing.
Oh,
I'll bet you can't prove this plate's off of
this was
something
an
else
airplane.
entirely.
I wasn't on the road. That was flying an airplane.
but I'm talking about guys in Denver who are putting it in their
yeah.
road-going vehicles, you know?
Not smart.
That seems like a bad idea.
Right.
Right. That's
But
bad.
it's totally legal in Denver.
Not to drive.
Again. Look, I got this squirt gun. The only problem is it looks exactly like a Sig Sauer P226. Not a good idea. Not a great idea.
Look, I get it. I shoved my face into a skunk's ass,
Right.
and now I'm driving down the street.
Right.
I get it.
I
I,
totally
know
get it.
exactly
I'm fine.
why you would think I was smoking.
I just don't believe in.
but no, I just love giving skunks cunnilingus.
My job is just making cops' jobs harder.
I'll bet you do.
My whole
Yeah.
thing is just don't make cops' jobs
2 hours
any
and 8
easier
minutes.
whatsoever.
2 hours and 8.
That's it. Yep. Perfect.
I love giving skunks cunnilingus. That's
going on a-
myself saying it.
that's going on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And one of the thing is, it's not easy to say.
No.
You kind of, for what it's worth, you kind of have to be a cunning linguist to pull that shit off.
I was gonna say neither of us can run for office now.
No, you're fine. No, hold on. Last night, You can.
Oh God,
You're fine.
Jeez, not
You're
to
fine.
get too far into it, but God damn,
The bar's been lowered, my friend.
there is no bar anymore.
The bar's been lowered.
We're just
fine.
tripping over tree
We're
stumps.
fine. I did want to say coming up. I have now found the perfect way to sell a zero electric motorcycle.
Trade it.
Try not to sell it.
Oh.
When the guy comes into your shop, just be like, yeah, I got these things. I can't get rid of them. I'm done. I'm out of it. We have our reasons. It's done. We're parting ways. It's over. That's it. Oh, are these made in America? Yeah, they're made in America. They're electric motorcycles. And I did everything I could to try to get the man to refocus his attention over the profitable part of my showroom. Not in the parts I thought I was going to die with and someday have to, have a small fire to justify why I'm getting an insurance claim to pay for the space that used to be occupied by $80,000 worth of motorcycles. And the guy actually said, well, yeah, I want to buy that one. The guy made a $10,000 gratuitous purchase in my shop. I was very happy.
Yeah.
My day got better after that. I have 4 left.
And they're going to still service them or not, or whatever. They're going to, he still gets all the things. Right?
Yeah, he gets the warranty. They're still building them. It's a real actual product that has dealers.
Free oil changes.
I mean, yeah.
Free oil changes
for life.
Look, I will give you free oil changes for zero for life. Absolutely. 100%. I will give you free oil changes for life. 100.
They're still in business, so.
Yes.
They're still
and there's no threat of them going out of business right now at all. So it's just the fact is it didn't work out at my shop. That's fine. It doesn't mean that they're bad at all. It just means I'm not the guy that will sell them to you anymore. But I'm also not the guy who wants to look at them any fucking longer either.
You are the guy that will sell them to you after you're done selling them.
Right, I was going to say, right. That's kind of where we are in this deal. Bring a Trailer said they were too new. I tried. I was like, you know what? This seems like the right thing for Bring a Trailer. Too new. They weren't interested. Yep.
More like Gov deals.
Yeah.
Gonna list that on Gov Deals with only one word at the top. Prepper.
Oh, prepper cycle.
Prepper cycle, right? Be ready for the zombie apocalypse. It's dead quiet. You can charge it off your solar panels. You can sneak up on the deer. Yeah, when you're poaching.
Charge it off in 3 months, right? How long would it take to charge off a solar panel?
Depends on how many solar panels you got.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right? The big field of solar panels over there, I think that you could probably get over there and snip a couple of wires, charge your zero in a matter of an hour or so. That probably wouldn't be dangerous at all. I've heard electricity is really easy.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No.
You're fine. Yeah. No, but I mean, prepper cycle, I think, is the way I got to go. Because people will spend dumb money if it has the word prepper associated with it. They'd be like, I can't sell these 96-year-old MREs. Prepper food.
No,
Prepper
Patriot.
chow.
Just throw the word Patriot in there and you fucking sell it.
Oh yeah, Patriot Prepper Cycle.
Yeah.
Or the
They're made in
Prepper
America.
Cycle Patriot.
There
The
you
Prepper
go.
Cycle Patriot. It's made in America. It's got a
Patriot
flag.
Edition. Patriot Edition.
We'll put little flags
my
on.
God.
Dude, that's it.
Flags.
Prepper Cycle
my
Patriot Edition.
Yep.
God.
It sells itself. I'm buying one and I don't even care anymore.
Yep.
Oh my.
Live wire killer.
Yes. Live wire killer. Yes.
I mean,
Make electricity great again. It's called the Mega. We got our own Mega hats. Yep. That's it. We're gonna make electricity great again. That's how we're doing it. That's
you?
it, boys.
not available in Texas.
That's how we do it. It's made in a goddamn America, Tom.
I know, but not available in Texas.
It's made in America.
They have no infrastructure.
We'll put the 10 Commandments on it. It'll be fine.
Now available in Louisiana.
That's fine. You turn the key, it'll read you the 10 Commandments. It'll be fine. It'll be good. We can put it in schools.
No, you do that. What's the Charlton Heston where he does where he does Moses at the beginning and has the big end?
You mean the 10 Commandments?
Well, yeah.
That's what the movie's called. Yeah.
I don't know. That was before my time. What do I look like? 70? But that whole thing, like the opening sound when you turn the mic on.
You turn the screen on, when you turn the key on, the TFT is going to just.
No.
I give you these 15 10 Commandments.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, fuck it. I think that was a podcast. Felt like a podcast to me.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, felt like a podcast.
We're all good.
Anyone have anything else they need to add?
No, what's coming up
Smithy got a
though?
joke?
Besides Mid Ohio, is there anything else coming up?
That was the next
Mid-Ohio's
big
coming
thing.
up.
Yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
that's a couple
What do
of
you
weeks.
want?
Yeah.
All right.
We don't have a long time to prepare for that.
I'm trying to go to the flat track race tomorrow, but anyway.
Ooh, where's that?
In
Lima, Ohio. And we have
I did know that.
and we have free tickets too.
Oh, well,
So-
then I'm definitely
There you go.
going to the flat track.
Yeah, I'll make
race
sure all
tomorrow.
you guys get the link for the free
Nice.
tickets.
All
Yep.
right.
Back to oil products. So, using different things. A buddy and I were talking about how supposedly the Honda 600 car had a whale oil, something with whale oil in it. When it
Yes.
came to yes, is it true?
The transmission.
Got it.
So it is true, and that is not a joke. If you're an old dyed-in-the-wool Volkswagen mechanic, you will know, like, if you're an old air-cooled Volkswagen mechanic, and you take the transmission off your car, don't leave it anywhere your dog can get to it. Because your dog will eat the contents of your transmission just to get that sweet, sweet, sweet whale oil, that whale grease. That's a thing, and you're right, and it's a weird deal. It's not an urban legend, and there is a story of a guy, and I don't know whether it was like a real thing or urban legend, but like a guy's dog ate a lot of the removable parts of the transmission of his V-Dub because he had it out in the backyard and warm sun, and the smell was irresistible to the dog. And I can tell you that Lambrettas also, if you have an old Lambretta like yours from the 50s and you get that transmission oil on you, that smell will not leave.
Oh,
I
that's like-
guarantee it's the original oil in it.
Right.
Yeah, or any of the fork oils from any of the bikes from the 60s or 70s that have never
Yeah,
been
but the
serviced.
whale oil thing
Oh.
that you said with the Honda 600, I think it goes well beyond the Honda 600.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it just goes to that was a product that was still an active part of byproducts of the whaling industry.
Yeah.
Because remember who was doing a lot of whaling? The Japanese folks were.
I think
right?
that's where they just get the bad rap for it.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, you know they used it.
Yeah, right. And you're like, oh, it was so terrible. They used whale oil in the transmission. It's like, what do you think they did with the rest of the whales?
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like catch and release whale oil. No. They made a lot of Hondas.
Well, they trapped him for the Papa John's guy so he could bang them all.
The whale squeezing.
Oh,
I thought it was a porpoise.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It's a porpoise.
That's for,
I get my waterborne mammals confused.
Well, but no, remember, though, it's just all about the seal.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's
Seal.
it. That's why you use whale oils for a better seal.
Oh no, sir, that's
Don't
just
blow a
ice cream.
seal.
The oil from a right whale would lubricate an average American car for 8 years.
Oh,
Wow.
That's something.
What weight was it? They're like,
Whales are heavy. I don't know.
I mean, like the weight of the oil.
it feels really heavy.
I can tell you what's in a Volkswagen transmission. It's not real heavy, but remember we had this debate a long time ago that transmission oil, jack oil, and motor oil can be called different viscosities, be called different numbers, even though their actual real technical viscosity is the same.
Right.
So like in one application, it's a motor oil, it's 30 weight. But if you say it's being used in a hydraulic jack, then it's technically 80 or 90 weight. But meanwhile, if you just said this is just oil, it is still 30 weight. If you're saying it's just oil. So in each application, the viscosity rating of the oil is different for its application. So that's why it gets very confusing in vintage old motorcycles where they're like, what kind of oil does your bike take? And they're like, oh, it takes 30. Okay, yeah, 30. It takes 30 weight oil. That's correct. Well, what kind of oil is in the transmission? 30. Oh, wait a second. Isn't there something different in the transmission? No. I had a WLA Harley Davidson. What kind of oil went in it? Oil. And what flavor or what weight of oil? Yeah, you didn't go to, Forest City Auto Parts or Advanced Auto Parts and they didn't have a wall of different viscosities of oil. They had oil. And that's what oil went into the motorcycle. And, the motorcycle may have had 3 holes for 3 different kinds of oil, but they were the same kind of oil that got changed on a different schedule based on the amount of heat and violence they suffered. So, yeah, that's just what it is. We are now in a society that we are just fucking bombarded with, well, I'd like 5W50, semi-synthetic, extra virgin, 2-stroke,
Yeah.
polyunsaturated motorcycle racing oil.
Organic
Was this
only.
was this ethically ethically sourced?
SGLI 5,
Yeah.
please.
The zinc was.
JSO MA2, no zinc, extra zinc with more sulfur. Or Wolf's Head will work.
Molly.
Extra Molly.
Extra Molly.
Bonus, can I have some extra Molly? Yes. They did say whale oil, ATF, according to Bob the Oil Guy. If you don't know Bob the Oil Guy, you should. Yes, according to Bob the Oil Guy, he says, yep. He said a whole lot of them did, and he goes, but how you could tell was the smell.
Nice.
And I like it when Bob the Oil Guy tells you that how you can tell what viscosity of whale oil you have in your vehicle is purely by the smell. Like, yep, there you go. He said it was a great ATF and it would last a very, very long time. I can tell you because my 63 Beetle, that was the original oil that came in it from the factory in the transmission of that Beetle. It was still there. It was great. And when I opened it up, I never regretted anything more in my life. I was like, I'm going to clean all that crap out of there because, you know, it congealed and it basically had become like a white grease inside from being just old and been there forever. Yeah, that there's nothing. There's nothing in the world you can spray on that. There's nothing in the world you can put in there that's going to make that shit go away. And like you said, it's resistant to all known chemicals.
Yeah.
Because I went up the use of force continuum from like laundry detergent, and I went all the way up until I was shooting carburetor cleaner at it. And I was just like, something has to make this shit not stick. No, it just sticks. It just fucking sticks. So it's a great product. And you said Honda 600, and you're like, turns out a lot more than the Honda 600. But how angry would be the first guy that's like, this little Japanese car? Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's Satan in there. I've never smelled anything so bad in my entire goddamn life.
It's like the videos of people opening up the fermented fish cans, and they're just like,
Oh, I promise you, I had it on my hands, and I was like, oh, that's weird. That's fucked up and weird. And I grabbed shop rag and wiped my hands off on the shop rag, and then I was like, I think that got it. So what do? You put your hands in front of your nose and you smell. And I smelled and I just went, go. And that was it. I was fucked.
Dude, when
that
I was in
it.
Holland, they had some
I just blew
fucking
chunks.
fish. This was before I was vegan, but they had some fish. Everybody was eating-
Sternenstrommen or something like
Yeah,
that.
dude. And everybody was eating this shit. And the guy's like, oh, you have to try the fish. I fucking tasted it. First of all, I puked instantly from
course,
tasting it.
yeah.
And then the smell of just touching my lips was
It's gone.
there for
It's
like
there forever.
Ever, dude.
Yeah, right.
My whole trip.
Yeah.
I played a whole bunch of night, whatever. The
Right.
whole trip,
Yeah.
destroyed.
You need a lipectomy right now.
Yeah,
You
but-
just need other people's
But
lips.
like, I don't understand
Yeah.
how, like, is it just that whole society's nose just developed differently? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on there? Like,
Chris, you have a little bit of experience with bad smelling fish products that you brought to the podcast before. You seem to know, or maybe our lutefisk expert over here from the freaking fjords of Milwaukee, the fjords of Wisconsin. These two guys are sitting here being just fucking conspicuously quiet on the entire thing. You've never brought fucked up weird fish shit.
No, I
but
don't
both
either.
of these guys have straight up been like, here, you should eat this. And I've been like, I don't even think that's from this decade,
yeah.
right?
They
Yeah.
cemented that with the whiskey. that
They
he
both
brought.
did.
Yeah, right.
They both have been guilty of bringing us weird.
That is true.
And I mean, I'll try one for sport, but I'm not going to go buy it. Like you bought it. Like you must have purchased it.
I did.
What was that? Jellied herring? What was that?
Creamed herring.
Creamed herring.
Oh, that makes it so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, jellied herring was bad, but creamed herring.
I eat the shit out of that stuff.
I like kippered herring's good.
That sounds like a really abstract like thing on Pornhub.
Pickled
Creamed herring. Creamed herring. Yeah.
Creamed herring pet tab up.
Yes. Oh man. It does turn out that if you had a General Motors product circa 1965 with Posi, the cars that had Posi did get CIR whale oil 1051022.
What kind of farce is this?
That's fucking amazing, is what it is. That's kind of cool.
There's a well
man.
oil called farce oil.
Farce oil?
Yeah, that's like in compasses and stuff. That they also use that for gauges and stuff.
Oh, really?
It's super clear.
I didn't know about that.
Farce oil.
I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, I know that.
Johnny Mac, we found your oil.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh, nice.
sperm oil.
Sperm oil. It's 1 pint. Yep. And apparently it has, it's nice celebrated sperm oil. It's very good stuff.
It's good to rub on your face.
Great Grandpappy Macklefresh filled up that jug right
It
there.
is.
It looks like you might need to see a doctor, dude.
You know what? But again, that particular thing came from. It
Dude,
looks
you
like it came
know.
from Greensboro, North Carolina, and that was Justice Drug Company.
But
Yeah.
I'm not being facetious. That they sold that as skincare at some point. There's an ad somewhere. It says sperm oil for the complexion that you need or love, or something like that. It had.
Sperm oil.
Cover your face in sperm oil.
It's what
Right.
plants crave.
Right.
Yep, that's it. All right. Anybody else got nothing else? Fucking everybody, ride fast and take chances. Play us out here, Johnny.
Bum, 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 bum.